The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Stutter! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, March 7th, 2025. This program starts right now. Sports are awesome. We're lucky that we get to talk about them every single day, and today will be no different. We have a stacked guest lineup from, the football world, and then also Dirtbox.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, we got Andrew Whitworth joining us in about 13 minutes or so. Obviously, he is very familiar with everything happening in this time of the league year. Also, can't wait to catch up with him about his TV gig with Amazon on Thursday nights alongside the entire team. And then also a kid that he helped mentor in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program as he was growing up in the league in Cincinnati. Derek Barnes just signed a massive deal with the Detroit Lions. If you do recall, whenever Andrew Whitworth won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, he gave a speech, and a part of his speech was talking about this lad running up to him after a game, acting as if they had known each other forever, and Whit had no idea who it was, and it just so happened to be a kid that he talked to in Cincinnati whenever he was donating his time at the Big Brothers Big Sisters program there, and he ended up making it to the NFL. He didn't just make it to the NFL. Now he's getting paid $25.5 million. Congrats to Derek Barnes.
Hell yeah.
Cannot wait to talk to Andrew Whitworth because obviously everything going on with Trey Hendrickson and everything happening in Cincinnati. Another meltdown from Bengals fans understanding that they're not going to be able to pay everybody, although the Philadelphia Eagles were able to. Not everybody's going to be able to, and certainly not the Bengals with their trajectory. Daniel Jeremiah will join us in the second hour. First time talking to him since Combine. Remember, he's the voice of the Combine. He and Rich Eisen are the ones that are kind of delivering the goodness alongside, many celebrities. I had a chance to sit down in there. David Spade was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're taking a lot of time trying to do the entertainment because it is a golf event, watching guys work out. What is Daniel Jeremiah's big takeaway? We can't wait to chat with him. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dirt.
Come on.
Hell yeah.
And if it's raining a little bit, we'll go to mud.
What? Finally.
Supercross is in Indianapolis this weekend, and Colt Nichols, he's the 2021 AMA Supercross 250cc East champion. And
Holy shit.
in 2023, he was the 450cc Rookie of the Year. He's won in Indianapolis twice. This guy's got to be the odds-on favorite down at Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend, and we'll be chit-chatting with him. And did I say absolutely would love to do this without a proper amount of information? Certainly. Is it going to be a great show this weekend in the stadium? Definitely. And am I getting on a dirt bike for the first time in my life today? I think so.
Okay.
Ever since I watched that Rough Riders Anthem music video, they had quads, ATVs, wherever you're from, whatever you call it, dirt bikes going through the middle of town. You see those videos, it's like, ooh, that looks like a good time. I've rode heavy bikes for about the past 15 years or so, both Harley and Indian motorcycles, heavy bikes, a little bit of metal on those things. Hydraulics, that thing's dropping down whenever I get out there. Now, a little bit lighter, these dirt bikes, a little bit less CC, but all the possibilities.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to go, but I asked them, "Got to ride one of these dirt bikes?" And they said, "We'll bring one up for you." And I said,
Boom.
All right. So I think there's going to be some content coming from that. It's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I want to let you know I'm going full bore out there.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be wide open on that thing. Can't wait to talk to Colt. Cannot wait to chit-chat about, their sport that is electrifying and travels around town to town and fills up and sells a lot of seats. A lot of people enjoy the shit out of it, and it's obviously a great show because those boys are flying. And those boys are rubbing.
Oh, yeah.
And those boys are putting the leg down and
Sweet.
And they commit their life to this shit. Colt Nichols' first race was when he was 4 years old.
Crazy.
4 years old was his first time getting on a bike, and he's just committed to it ever since. And can't wait to catch up with him in the third hour on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. Currently on ESPN News as well, huh?
Okay.
Boys, We did it.
On the news.
The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor. Sweet helmet, brother. What's going on here?
Thank you very much. Yeah, look, I mean, this is your typical lake trout. You know, I actually caught this thing, took it to a taxidermist, said, let me get this thing on a hat, make it look like it's still swimming, kind of get the tail. Get the tail in there with the head still going.
Take me to the river. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
Exactly. Kind of one of those. You want to frame a fish like this, and I said, you know what, no better place to frame it than right on the top of my head. So it's one of these nice little things that I have, and it's Feel Good Friday. Why not make it a Feel Good Fish Hat Friday?
I don't know if anybody's ever mounted a fish on their forehead. Let's go to Ty Schmidt, Big Ten angler at one point. He said he caught that thing. What do you think he was doing? Was he doing any tricks, any slips, any sleeps? What do you think he was doing to pull this trout out of the lake?
I doubt it. I mean, he says lake. I'm thinking this could have been a stock pond somewhere.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Kind of
Really?
catch and release. Because we're not exactly. I mean, this isn't. For the layman, this isn't primetime fishing season yet. Still really cold. You're only.
What down the south?
I ain't the layman.
You're only going to see the diehard anglers out there. What kind of bait you use to get that thing?
A fish hook.
That's there.
A fish hook on top of another fish hook. Okay.
He actually quadrupled it. He was just dragging it around the water. And he actually, it was like a net almost of hooks that he got that particular.
Had some hot dogs, learn a little bit, a little hot dog, but spit in the water. People don't know you spit in that water. Here comes the trout. So
what hole did you find out? You knew the spots on the lake.
Yeah, you do some research. Fishhole.com, and make sure you spell that right, folks. Don't spell that right at home. Yeah, you don't want to spell that wrong. But
that's the thing that fishermen do is as soon as they find a hole, they want to report it for everybody else to know.
Yeah, big old. It's deep dark web. Another thing you want to spell correctly when you get on the internet. But
do you want to buy fishhole.com? I think you could right now. We just searched. It is available on GoDaddy if you would like to purchase it.
That's because you spelled it wrong.
It may be for sale, fishhole.com.
That's because you spelled it wrong, and I'm not going to say how to spell it because if I did, then all of a sudden I'm giving out all my best fish holes.
Is there a T in there? Yeah, okay. So nonetheless, the fish looks absolutely very normal.
Thank you.
And then you got an octopus down there as well?
Yeah. That just kind of came together. The shirts are typically...
You're a real Aquaman today, huh?
Yeah, well, to be honest, the octopus shirt, that just came together. Holy shit, I'm wearing an octopus shirt and I grabbed a fish hat because closet, I didn't turn the lights on this morning. I just grabbed a shirt and let's hit the road. Let's get in there.
Now, lake obviously is where you pulled that trout out of, and I can respect the work that you have to do to get that. They probably a good fight from that trout right there.
It was tough. And it wasn't just this trout.
That's an alien, though, in your chest.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The more we learn about these things, the more documentaries and things, that feels like that is not from here, and that might be one of the most sophisticated things that we have, beings that we have. They can go invisible, they can change, I even saw one put eyes out there. It is,
morph.
One became friends with, morph, they go flat, they turn into, they're shapeshifters.
Yep.
That's an interesting creature down there.
Yeah, not as interesting as the man in my octopus teacher, to your point.
Yeah, he was trying to bone that octopus.
There's a chance.
He felt like he caught some real feelings, but finding out that an octopus could be sentient was a completely added, that was a whole other element of these things. We should be taking care of those.
Yeah.
I think those things, I think they have some powers. I tried to get one in can't.
Oh.
Because they're smart enough.
I get out.
Yeah. What if I get a massive tank and give it the best life it's ever, let's just say, I don't even want to ask how expensive it is, but let's just say I get a massive tank, biggest tank possible. Can I get an octopus in there? What are the chances of getting an octopus? Because these things are sweet. And they say, the octopus will just figure out how to fucking open it. It'll watch you, and then it'll figure out how to open it and get out. It's an uncontainable species is how they sold it to me. What's that?
I mean, you could always make the roof electric. Good luck.
Yeah, but it is also...
You don't want to kill the thing.
Well, if you want to teach it a lesson, show its friends.
I want to take care of this thing. Nonetheless, I don't think you should harbor octopi.
No.
Is what I've been told.
But if...
Tell that to the people in Detroit who are clubbing them over the head and killing them and tossing them on the ice.
Yeah, they need to stop doing it.
Yeah. Believe me, they haven't done it in a while.
No, they need to start doing it so we can win some damn games here.
No, you need to take care of those octopi. Every time I've seen these aliens just get through the air and then boom on some hard ice, it's like, does that make your hockey team? People throw hats out there to celebrate a hat trick.
I get that.
People throw other things out there. You guys are throwing aliens out on the ice.
Greatest tradition in hockey.
That's not true.
Greatest tradition in hockey? What about the handshake line after a playoff?
Playoff beards?
Yeah,
I don't like that. Playoff beards, though, yeah.
Minnesota
like the
State
handshake
playoff.
line?
I hate the handshakes, man.
What are you talking about? It's only one time.
Yep. Don't need it.
other sports do it on a very regular basis. Hockey's like, in the end, we will shake their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the tradition, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't like it. But that's just me.
Playoff beard's great. Minnesota high school hockey float.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a good hockey tradition.
Awesome. State of hockey. There's a massive game last night.
Pittsburgh in Minnesota.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And in Pittsburgh, they win. That's what the hockey
Bingo.
team does.
Well,
That's what they do.
that's what they did.
One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Tone.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
What's going on with the cowboy hat, brother?
It's Friday, and so it felt good. It felt right. And like I said, I reserve the right to put this hat back on whenever I want.
Okay, so the first couple of days didn't go as well as you wanted to?
No, I thought they went swimmingly. Shout out, Connor.
Yeah. Not like this.
It was going swimmingly until it all ended quick with a hook on top of a hook on top of a
A couple hot dogs.
A couple hot dogs, yeah.
But no, I felt like
That's what I used.
everyone going into the weekend should cowboy up a bit, and I needed that in my life.
So you're a feel-good cowboy. I can respect that. Boys in the back, great work this week thus far. Let's have a good show today.
Yeah, boys.
Let's have a good show today. Okay, big news coming around the NFL. Jonathan Allen has been released from the Washington Commanders. Obviously, captain for that team. They're in the middle of a fast rebuild with new ownership, new leadership, new everything, including a new quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Jonathan Allen now, which we thought was going to be one of the pillars of this team for a long, long time, is now available after being released from the Commanders. He is just the latest in a lot of dudes around the NFL that have been released this week. And it'll continue all the way up through Monday and even until next Wednesday as teams try to figure this out before free agency starts. And ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to do this, but it does feel like we are directly in the center of Massacre Week. AP Tone, Jonathan Allen's the most recent one. Who are some other guys that have been released this week that maybe we forgot about or should definitely know about?
Yeah, we thought Massacre Week may be a little more quiet this year because of the salary cap going up, but no, it's been an eventful Massacre Week. I got a list of guys, just some of the notables that have been part of this Massacre Week. Raekwon Davis, George Fant, Roy Robertson Harris, Devontae Adams.
Oh, no!
Then you got, Rayshawn Jenkins, Devin Duvert, Joey Bosa.
Oh, no!
Jamal Williams, Javon Hargrave, those are, Evan Ingram.
Oh, no!
We can't forget Draymond Jones, Darius Slay, Super Bowl champion.
Oh, no!
Same team, James Bradbury. You got Gardner Minshew's out there. Tyler Lockett. So, yeah, those are just some of the few to mention. It's been an eventful Massacre Week.
And we say, oh, no, because this isn't just a player getting fired. This is a dream potentially ending. This is a family having to get up and move. This is somebody giving their all to an organization and then being told we don't want you back next year. These are tough times. Now, it is the business, okay? This is the NFL. This is how it goes. And I think, I forget who was on the show earlier this week to talk about the amount of turnover in a locker room regardless, let alone if it's a big turnover year. It's at least 30 to 40% every single year. Your roster is going to be different because, the pillars that we know about, the big-time names that Tone stopped on there, are going to be there year to year. And obviously the team is going to try to build around their brands, their images. They're going to be the ones that are associated with the team. But this is 53 dudes, and it is changing on a very regular basis, especially at the bottom half, let alone what practice squad is now because they were able to open it up to more people and older folks as well. So when you talk about people getting cut, very normal in the NFL. Sucks. It's part of the business. A lot of these guys, for the first time in their lives, they've been told they're not good enough to make a football team. That is obviously a mental thing that can weigh on some guys, but also it's maybe an opportunity to start anew. Maybe go have a fresh first impression in a place. Maybe try to reprove yourself. Maybe get into a different system, maybe a different building, and have your best football that you've ever had in your entire life. I saw Evan Ingram, tight end from Jacksonville, who got released. He said, there's no offense to Jacksonville, they just released a dog out into the free agency, so he's motivated by it, obviously. Jacksonville also made a play by sending Christian Kirk. Yeah, here he is. It's all love, Jax, but they just love motherfucking dog loose. Sorry for what's next. Hashtag be easy. Easy Evan Graham, tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, now available. Christian Kirk from the Jacksonville Jaguars was traded yesterday to the Houston Texans. Now, it was announced that he was going to be released, and then they do this game where they say, we're getting rid of him, and unless you want to kind of catch and beat free agency, then you're going to have to do your own thing, do your own deal. So Christian Kirk out of Jacksonville to Houston, and Evan Ingram out of Jacksonville to the free agent market. And there's a lot of big names that are now available. It feels like next week's going to be heating up. Some of these deals have already been completed at the Combine. So whenever Monday opens up and it's the launch of the tampering period, and then Wednesday is the new year and yada, 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 all that stuff happens, there's going to be deals that are already announced. Those things are already done. Whenever new guys get released, like Jonathan Allen, how much does that change? How much does it rattle some things? Would love that D tackle on my particular squad.
Yeah.
Troutman, Boston Conner.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And I feel like because of the D tackle kind of like expectation, I think it's Milton Williams from Philadelphia is expecting like an $80 million deal. And obviously we just saw Osa get a massive payday, so you'd assume something like that might affect the Jonathan Allen. But yeah, he becomes one of the premier players.
Oh, no! Masker Week continues. Diggs just sent in from Schultze, Starbucks Air.
Sure.
The Texans have informed starting guard Shaq Mason that he's being released. He started 15 games this past season. Okay, so Shaq Mason goes into the free agency market. I mean, Masker Week's real.
Yeah.
We did think with the way salary cap was going up, we didn't think the Masker Week was going to, be as heavy. Maybe. We didn't think it was going to be as many folks. But instead, we're finding out more money, and we got different ideas on which way we're going to go. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, Walter Payton Man of the Year, 3-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's obviously a national champion from college. He had 5 years with the Rams, 11 years with the Bengals, was a second-rounder out of LSU. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Handsome, from Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime and the Whit and Fitz podcast, Andrew Whitworth.
Appreciate you, baby. Appreciate you.
How you doing?
I like your wording there, Wit and Fitz podcast. That's correct.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
It's the Fitz and Wit podcast, but I'm trying to get it changed, Pat. We're in a disagreement.
That's on me.
Every week I argue with him. We should flip it.
See, if it means anything,
you're on my team. That's what I like.
Okay, unbeknownst to me, I'm on your squad. To be clear, in my head, there was an eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation happening while I was talking about you. Is it Fitz and Wit, or is it Wit and Fitz? And then in my head, I thought I saw Wit first, but maybe that means I am on your side completely. Yeah, maybe the natural thing is to say the non-plural sounding name first, and then Fitz second, because of the Z at the end. Fitz and Wit's a good name, though. Great show. Great show, too.
Thank you.
You guys have gotten great
Appreciate
shit
it,
out of there in such a short amount of time. How do you feel? You look amazing.
I appreciate it, brother. Just trying to keep it moving, Pat. I spend my off season still training like I think I'm playing, I guess. It makes me feel young at heart. I got 4 little kids to chase around. So, I can't ever let these boys feel like they're hitting that teenage stage.
Yeah.
They can't feel like they can take pops down. So I got to stay in a dominant position.
Yeah, you got to be alpha. If you have a pet orangutan or something.
Be careful.
Anytime that thing thinks it is the alpha of the house now, you got to do dynamic. I don't have any baby boys, but I would assume it is a very similar feeling on your end. Can you tell me about these workouts a little bit? We talked off air. I don't want to air out your laundry. You can say whatever you want, but these workouts are every day at 6 a.m.?
Yeah. Me and Sean this year decided this offseason we were going to try to connect in the mornings, get some training in. Sean McVay's trying to, I think he's trying to relive his Miami, Ohio days a little bit. He still thinks he can get out there and make it happen out there on the field. So we've been training every morning, 6 a.m. at a gym I have here in Westlake Village we actually call it The Village. It's just kind of a mixture of the people in my life and my trainer that I trained with while I was playing. So we got a lot of guys there. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and a lot of those guys train still. Tyler Higbee, Jordan Whittington. We got some guys coming in. So it's fun, man. I get to be a part of the locker room a little bit still. That feeling you love, man.
Yeah, and they get a chance to train at a place that isn't the facility. You're there all the time, but you get to train with the guys without having to go anywhere else. That's an excellent opportunity for all parties involved, especially with the camaraderie building that needs to happen for a team to be great. It happens in the offseason. You said Cooper Kupp in there. How's that going with everybody? He's cool with everybody because he understands the business?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's nothing in your career, man. Anytime you kind of see a door closed and you feel like something's going to change, I think it gets emotional. And obviously what Cooper's meant to this franchise will never change. He's made all our lives better and brought a freaking Super Bowl championship here in an insane season he had. But Cooper's also driven in the passion of who he is every single day. So he trains. I watched him yesterday with Puka Nacua and Jordan Whittington and those guys, giving them some insight of route running and some of the things that he, emphasizes when he's doing things, it's not just about the football field to him, man. It's about the legacy of who he is as a man and the impact he has on guys around him. And he's always been wired that way. So I can imagine whatever team gets him, they're going to be excited to have a guy who's not only going to be a great football player, but what he's going to be able to teach and bring to a locker room and a group is going to be really special, because he's like having a coach on the field from his ability and really from the mental part of the game, what he understands.
Okay, so he's training, you said, as of today, so he's in good shape, body feeling good, everything, all systems go.
Pat, he's shirtless in there every day. He's just letting the guys know, I still got it, baby. He's showing off the six-pack. I think it's a little shot at Puka, like you better stay in shape because this is the kind of shape I'm in, Puka's known for throwing up in the trash can. Coop wants to show off the six-pack. That's what it is.
Puka getting after it all the way to the point where he throws up. Respect, dog.
Yeah.
Absolute dog. What a noose in there. And then Cooper Kupp definitely has spray tan, though, right? You're not going to be that white with a shirt off unless there's at least a little bit of a tan. So you down there at the beach, maybe toning that up a little bit.
I don't think Coop puts any chemicals on his body, including deodorant. So I think he's an all-natural guy.
Okay, we got a hippie coming to your town.
Natural.
We got a hippie coming to your town who's a incredible wide receiver, especially could be a great addition to a locker room. Let's talk about you. You obviously were synonymous with the Bengals for a long, long time. And I remember when you left the Bengals, there was some sort of something. I don't remember the exacts of it. Then you end up with the Rams. Yeah, some sort of something. Yeah, it feels like there's teams that are getting in that position now. Obviously, not just the Bengals, who Trey Hendrickson is allowed to go look for a trade. Sam Hubbard just retired. We thought that might open up some money for Trey Hendrickson, but they tell him he can go seek a trade because they got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, a lot of people they have to figure out over there. San Francisco 49ers seemingly have to deal with it every single year. Whenever you're talking about, we don't have to just talk about the Bengals, but obviously they're a part of this conversation as a whole. Whenever you have to pick and choose who you're giving money to and how much money you're giving to people, how uncomfortable does that actually get behind closed doors, do you think? That we don't talk about?
I think it's really uncomfortable. I think it's one of the things maybe the fan bases sometimes don't understand. This week isn't just about who's getting acquired or who's leaving and who we're cutting. There's a lot of emotions involved and a lot of nerves, because you're hoping that a lot of these decisions are quality decisions you're making as a personnel group, and you're saying, hey, we feel like we want to move money this direction, or we want to add money here to our team. And you look at the Cincinnati Bengals situation, which is a great one. Obviously Joe Burrow has been very outspoken about wanting T. Higgins and Jamar Chase back. And the Bengals have always done things financially a certain way. And so it's kind of one of those things like, maybe, hey, listen, Joe, we're going to try to do this, but these are the people that are going to have to go, and there's going to be people that aren't going to be a part of this team if we're going to do it that way. So you look at Trey Hendrickson's situation, I think it's the Max Crosby deal that really probably sent this to this point, because now they go, wow, if that's the asking price, you probably need to go out there and see if there's another team that would offer you that, and then give us some compensation to really make it worth our while to move on.
$106.5 million extension for Max Crosby, completely earned. We're not saying
he deserves every bit of it.
Every play this guy plays, just like Trey Hendrickson.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, it is. The engine is obviously absurd, but the impact on the game that a pass rusher has, especially if you're Trey Hendrickson, the pass sack king last year, and then last 3 years most sacks out of anybody, it's like, I assume somebody will be like, yep, we will make that play for Trey Hendrickson. And the Bengals are going to be back at a spot that they're always in, which is get talent, can't keep talent. Business always gets in the way, because there's a lot of stats floating out there about paying Joey Burrow, and then obviously the Eagles pay Jalen Hurts. And somehow the Eagles are able to keep everybody, and the Bengals are very rarely ever able to keep anybody. So how do you view the situation as somebody that's been so close to it in the past?
Well, the issue is the Bengals are never going to, issue out lots of guarantees and contracts, and unfortunately, they've just continued to be way behind times in that spot, because it's like that's the part of the business now, and eventually, you may have had an old way of doing things, but if you don't ever change, you're going to always get left behind in these situations. Continuously, they've let big free agents leave. Now, it's not that every team hasn't done that, but then they've also not been able to replace them. You look how many draft picks they've spent on the defensive side of the football since they lost Jesse Bates and DJ Reader and now possibly Trey Hendrickson, and they just haven't been able to find guys that match up to that standard of play. So if you can't pay them to stay, and you also don't draft their replacement, you're living in a world where we just keep spinning the circle, and you're going to keep putting yourself in this position where you're going to have to overpay to keep some talent. And right now, you look at it, you've gone this long with T. Higgins being upset with his contract. Jamar Chase obviously needs to get taken care of. Those are the things I just hate to see teams do, to continue to allow it to fester. Make a decision. Pay the guy, move on from the guy, but stop letting it just linger in the locker room. Because to me, that's what you really see start to have an effect. Like what the Cowboys did with CD Lamb and Dak last year. It just continues to fester your team, and it affects your locker room because you create a bad vibe every single day about who's going to get paid that's deserved the opportunity to get paid. You got to make those decisions and make a clean cut of what we're going to do, and let's move forward.
And your stars get jaded towards the organization. And once again, the Bengals aren't the only team that does this. Historically, though, they've been a team that's been in the spotlight of doing this because they get so many good players and then can't keep them. And it's like, have a guy right now. Are they going to be able to figure out the business to keep these talented gentlemen in Cincinnati? You know, whenever you provide a guarantee for somebody, ownership has to put that money up into a fund. So they actually have to have that money right now. You have to be able to put that in there. So that's obviously a question with the Brown family. Would they be willing to put that amount of money because the Bengals are their only business? It's crazy because there's other owners that like $106.5 million. Not that Mark Davis is this way, even though he sold to some funds, I think, some venture, 10% he sold. Yeah. There's some owners that can literally just $106.5 million just be like, yeah, fucking
whatever. Yeah.
We don't care. And then there's some ownerships that the team is all they got. And it's like fluidity of cash is not necessarily in abundance. I'll be excited to see how that kind of continues to work itself out. And you talk about taking care of guys early. J.J. Watt literally just said that yesterday. It's like, it's good for all parties to take care of somebody early. Saquon Barkley's deal. How about that shit? Just
awesome.
Right?
You talk about another one, just like Max Crosby. Like that's what you want to see. You want to see this relationship with organizations where when a guy plays to a certain standard and you go, hey, you know what? This is what we want to encourage. A guy comes in here, the character he plays with, the style he plays with, how he achieved. We're going to make sure these kind of guys get taken care of early. That also helps us make decisions down the road. And that's what I think is the issue, is sometimes the cat and mouse game of the team and the player and trying to figure out, all right, do we want to keep leveraging and holding off paying them? Like, the sooner you can make a commitment to guys, and that's really what the Eagles have done great. Hey, let's pick our 5, 6, 7 guys that we know without question the character they are and the football player they are. We're going to commit to them to move forward. And now that gives us the space to go, all right, when these other situations come up, can we make a move? Can we not? And that really is what, to me, separates what Howie Roseman's been able to do. Is not just these ghost years and these contracts people are talking about how they put them together, but he commits to guys that he knows, this is a guy that I'm going to want in my organization no matter what. And it's the same thing that's been the criticism of the Giants with letting Saquon leave. How do you let talented football players who are also great characters, awesome for your culture, ever walk out of your building? You know, to really validate what that number is that you say is too much is crazy to me, because you want good character people who are great football players. That's what you're in the business of acquiring. You don't let those people walk out of your building.
Yeah, and we watched it all unfold on that Hard Knocks offseason, and boy, that has all just come back completely the other way. And Mara, the owner, has to feel like a super genius.
Yeah.
He's probably, whenever he's going around conversation, have you seen Hard Knocks? I know ball.
I knew it.
I know ball. I told him, I tried to give him a hint. I tried to give him a tip, because remember it was said back in the day, just a few years back, that Mara was sick of telling his friends why his team sucks, which is why he invested a bunch of money. And then this whole situation happens, and Mara's like, I fucking know it. They don't let me.
The craziest comment, Pat, to that whole situation was when Sheen said that you don't pay a running back, 12 to 15 million, and have your $40 million quarterback hand the ball off to him. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't 55 million what all the great quarterbacks are getting paid? So wouldn't you pay your quarterback less and then your running back more, and then that adds up to what the great quarterbacks are? Like, that isn't even, the math actually adds up to, that would be the equivalent of what those guys actually get paid, and that would be the dynamic if you have a quarterback for $40 million.
And you look at the
picture, to me, it just never made any sense.
And you look at the picture right next to your head right now. It's like the Philadelphia Philadelphia Eagles, they paid a guy, a quarterback.
Yeah.
And, he did hand the ball off.
A lot.
They handed the ball off more than they threw the ball, and they're still A-okay with paying Jalen Hurts the amount of money that they're currently paying him. It's a wild time, and it's crazy how this all works, but, maybe the Bengals, maybe the Giants, maybe all these teams, they figure it out this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. The one team that I don't even think their fans have any hope, and maybe even the people in the building, the Cleveland Browns, interesting situation as we stay on. Yeah, they're in it. They are in it right now. Myles Garrett has requested a trade. He also requested, allegedly, a meeting with ownership. I assume he was going to go up to Haslam and just say, I'm never coming in this building again. So the right thing to do is just to get me out of here. Haslam allegedly declined the meeting, so they were not able to catch up, is what's being reported at this exact moment. Andrew Berry has done the media rounds, the general manager for the Cleveland Browns, done a media round saying, Myles Garrett's going to be a Cleveland Brown. Myles Garrett's going to be a Cleveland Brown. Now it's being reported that Myles Garrett is willing to miss games because he said he wants to go and play meaningful football. What are your thoughts on how this works out? And where do you rank Myles Garrett as a guy amongst the defensive end pass rushers? Is this a Mount Rushmore player already?
Well, there's no question he's a Mount Rushmore type player. He's also like the win the game off the bus guy every time. I mean, every time you see this guy, it's impressive, just the physical stature he has. But you look at this situation, Pat, it's crazy to me because as much, hard time I give the Cincinnati Bengals some of these decisions. Obviously, I loved playing there, but one of the things I respected the most is every time a contract situation came up or I was upset and my agent and I talked, I would go upstairs, and Mike Brown was an open door policy at all times. Anytime you want to come meet with me, you want to talk about these things, we could sit down and have man-to-man conversations and disagree, and that'd be okay. But we're going to talk about it. You can feel better about the fact you communicated in my face about it. And I hate the idea that you would turn down that request, because regardless of what you're going to do, I tell this to players all the time as a leader of a locker room, you're a man before you're anything else, and always live your life that way and make decisions that way. Stick true to who you are. And so to reject an opportunity to sit down with a guy, I don't even understand that. That doesn't even make any sense. Allow him to come in and tell you how he feels, because maybe you would understand him a little better. Maybe you'd understand the situation a little better, or maybe even for him, if you got a chance to convince him why you feel this way, why we'll never trade you, maybe that convinces him to stay a little more. I just think it's a bad way to do it. And unfortunately, they have put him in situations in his 8 years he's been there to where you got to say, hey, Myles, we haven't done a very good job of giving you competitive teams and making good decisions. But at the same time, you know what? You're an unbelievable football player, and we're not in the business of getting rid of great football players who are also great people, like I just said about Saquon. But those conversations have to be had. That man-to-man conversation will matter to Myles Garrett. Either way it shakes out, because I still, even though my Cincinnati end wasn't great, left with a great appreciation for the man Mike Brown is. And I actually have the letter he wrote me when I left in free agency on my wall right here behind me, because it meant so much to me that we always had that relationship, no matter how it ended.
That's awesome to hear that. And that's business, The reason why all this is happening is because it is a business. The way you go about doing business is explaining your side. Like that is, and then you're negotiating. Myles could go in there and be negotiating with Haslam, and Haslam will be negotiating with Myles. Now, it might just sound like a recruiting conversation, but that's negotiating. Getting a guy back, or why you're back, or how much you're worth, and everything like that. Maybe Haslam explains why he pulled the trigger on Deshaun Watson and gave the contract that he gave. Myles, I did that to make a team for you. Like, that is what I try to do this for, because I saw Joe Thomas sit here forever. I'm watching Joel Bitonio now sit here forever. I'm watching you sit here forever. So the reason why I did this with Deshaun is because of you. So it's like there is a sell that you can do in there in that conversation as well, both sides, and maybe even Myles goes in there and goes like, Mr. Haslam, I'm very honored to be a Brown. It has been, I love the city, I've loved playing for you, but you guys have no avenue to success over the next 3 years, and who knows how long I have. So I'm just trying to, and then maybe Haslam's like, all right, you got it, and then shake hands and he's on his way out. It's like those things can happen and probably have happened in the past, Whit, I would assume.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it. What if Myles says, listen, my heart's just not here anymore, and it's not a place I want to be? Do you want to be in the business of paying a guy who's that great, who you're obviously paying a lot of money to, that just doesn't want to be there? I mean, I think that, yes, two teams do have the right to own you and possess you if they want to and keep you there. But, Mike Tomlin has said it best, right? We want volunteers, not hostages. Like, you got to think about your culture as well when you make these kind of decisions. And it's not like Myles Garrett just angrily sent out a tweet and said, I want out out of here. The guy wrote a freaking letter, like an address, like he's retiring. I'm basically retiring from being a Cleveland Brown, and I'm ready to move on. And I think back to my situation in 2011 in Cincinnati with Carson Palmer, who did basically the same thing with the organization and just said, listen, I'm not done playing football, but I am done being a Cincinnati Bengal, and I will retire before I ever play here again. And he did. He sat out most of that season until about week 8 when Hugh Jackson, who had been here with us, was able to call Mike Brown and convince him not to let Carson go out that way, trade him to us in Oakland with the Raiders, and that really extended his career. But Mike Brown was going to put his feet in the ground and allow Carson to just walk off and retire. And so they had their head-to-head. But eventually, I think you gotta ask yourself, if you want that in the building, if Miles really genuinely never wants to be a Cleveland Brown again.
That's a tough culture. And, there has been money that has obviously soothed over these types of fractures in relationships in the past. Maybe we'll see that. But, yeah, let's go shake their hands, boys. Let's go shake their hands. And don't be scared to go in there and be combative. Hey, that happens.
Yeah.
Especially, but at the end, yeah, exactly. You need to go represent in there. Now, let's talk a little bit about another team that has been notoriously terrible, but making some moves that don't look bad. Ty Schmidt has a question for you.
Yeah, Whit, what do you think about what the Bears have done so far this offseason? Obviously, it seems like Caleb Williams got sacked like 500 times last year. Some people think, part of that was on him. Part of it was definitely on the offensive line. But then Ben Johnson right away goes out and trades for Jonah Jackson, who he had in Detroit and was great in Detroit. And then they kind of shock everyone and go out and get Joe Thuney. How big of an impact will this have almost immediately on the Bears next year?
I think it has a huge impact. I mean, you really look at what Ben Johnson came from. I mean, we talk about all the weapons and all those type things, but let's not forget where the Lions really get their bread and butter in the sense of they're built up front, and that's who they were and have been. And protecting Jared Goff was obviously the number one priority for them. And then all the pieces could come to life because of that. And you really look at the great coordinators across the league, you'll hear them talk about how the quarterback's number one, the offensive line's number two, and that can flip just depending on who can do what. That's got to be the priority of how I call a game. And when I'm making a play call every snap, it has to do with those two things. And the Chicago Bears had to find a way to protect Caleb Williams. And if we think he's similar in style possibly to a Mahomes or some of these guys, it's going to have an ability, we got to get to playing in time and a rhythm better, but also going to have that opportunity to extend plays and make plays. Then I want to provide him an interior offensive line that's going to give him time to have those opportunities, because you really look at Patrick Mahomes, a lot of his success has been because of having Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey and Joe Thuney in that interior three. And really, we've seen guys coming in and out of the lineup at right tackle and left tackle. So adding a Joe Thuney and a Jonah Jackson, a guy I've been familiar with who already is going to know his system, this just adds another layer of, hey, Caleb, we're going to make you a little more comfortable in this offense, and we're going to be able to do some things. Run the football, use athletic guards that can pull and move. I think those are things that are going to give confidence to Ben Johnson as a play caller, and then also going to provide some space to the quarterback to be able to stay in that pocket and make plays.
Hey, how much is confidence in the offensive line from the quarterback paramount in the success of everything? Because I think there's some conversations about some of these younger quarterbacks, and not all of them, obviously. And Caleb, he has never said this. We're just kind of looking. Whenever you think you're going to get your ass beat on every single play, there is a chance that there is a lack of going through your progressions and just trying to survive. Now, that can't be how you play your entire NFL career. You have to grow out of that. You have to be able to just stick in there and have faith that the people in front of you will do that. But it felt like Caleb got that. Caleb was very uncomfortable. I think even Bryce Young, if you go back to before he got benched to after he got benched, it feels like he had a lot more confidence in the boys in front of him. Maybe that's because Andy Dalton.
What is it? Sit the quarterback early or not? When I think you see these young guys, really what they need to see sometimes is a veteran like Andy Dalton that Bryce Young got to watch. Go in there and balls coming out in time and a rhythm. Guys, like the offensive line gets more confidence because they can trust that this quarterback, he's going to hit his back foot and he's going to let it go. The receivers get more confident in their route and what they're doing, that, hey, I'm going to get a ball on time. I got to be ready to catch it. So they speed up. And now the offense starts to move at a faster pattern with everybody having a trust and belief of how we're going to operate. Oh, and then Bryce Young comes back in and he kind of sticks to that script, and it's like, oh man, I'm starting to have some success. Then he starts to get confident, and then you start to open yourself up. I mean, Pat, I know you play golf. You know what it's like when you hit that one great shot and you're like, oh, wait a minute, today's my day. Then what do? You feel like you can start opening up all the options. I could draw it. I could cut it. I can start to play the different things. That confidence is real in sports. And so I think you saw that with Bryce Young this year. And I think that's what the Bears are looking for. And the other thing that I think is really important to the Bears situation, Pat, I was with Andy Dalton when he was a rookie, veteran offensive lineman. He had a couple other vets with me that we could be around for him and help him. You look at it when I came to L.A. with Jared Goff. He had a struggle his rookie year, and then his second year with Sean McVay and us, John Sullivan, other vets in that group, Roger Saffold. We were able to kind of be there and give him, hey, man, we got you. Like, trust us to protect you. I think adding 2 veteran guards who've done it at a high level that you believe in, it's not just how they play. It's those little moments in the huddle of, man, it's 3rd and 8. Hey, we're going to give you one more tick, man. We're going to give you another second to get this ball out. You do your thing, man. Just being able to have that veteran presence in the offense. Think of what he had last year. He didn't have a veteran backup. He didn't have a veteran lineman in that group that had really played and had a lot of experience over time. So this is going to be something that's not just about their play. It's also about who they are as human beings. It's the success they've had.
A pat on the helmet. Hey, we're good. You know, like that type of shit. That's a big deal.
Hey, stay your ass up in the pocket. That's the other one, right?
Hey, I'm not holding on for 20 seconds. Yeah. All that type of
Hey, listen, I tell Jared Goff every play call, hey, what's this one? 7-step, 5-step? Hey, 8 yards, 9 yards. Don't you dare get deeper than that.
Hey, Jared, I'm running them.
Hell no.
Hey, Jared, I'm running them. Okay, so if you're back there, this is on you. Okay, we need you.
You're back there, it's on you, baby.
That is a big deal. You forget about the human side of this whole thing, you know? And it's like Caleb, I don't know if he felt like he had to project as if he knew everything, but he did have to project as if he knew everything. And it's like you look around that team, there wasn't a lot of people that were like, hey, also this to work alongside of him. I think he has that confidence to be a leading man. Like, I think he does. I think he has the ability to do it too. I think if they put the right people around him, why not Chicago, Zito? Why not Chicago?
Why not? Let's go.
Well, history tells us it won't be.
Don't forget, Jonah Jackson's also training at the Village, baby. So, hey. We're going, baby. We're Team Bears over here, too.
Right.
Wow. Hey, I did not know that. We got a factory happening over there with Whitworth. Now, let's talk about, you said Jonah Jackson training over there. We're talking about Tooney going over there. We're talking about, teams rewarding certain things. How about whenever the world champion rewards the offensive line and the running back? What does that mean? Connor has a question for you, Whit.
Yeah, Whit, all those things about the O-line and the pass game are great, but it does feel like the running game, the trenches are all the way back, and that has kind of become the new thing once again, because we always talk about how the NFL is cyclical. What do you think about kind of that structure to a team? Do you think more teams are going to try to do it like Philly, both in the draft and bringing in, elite running backs and some of that, offensive line talent? And you think those two positions all of a sudden are a much bigger deal? And also, do you think kind of the strategy that Cincinnati and some other teams are going with kind of the high-powered throw the ball all over the yard is kind of becoming old news almost, and that isn't a real way to win?
Yeah, I think that's my biggest concern for Cincinnati points, but just because you're down in a lot of games and you're not controlling the time of possession and you're not dominating the other team, you're just able to put up a lot of explosives. I think we're starting to see a switch in the league now back to time of possession, running the football, being able to sustain drives. And we know it's a copycat league, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see this offseason. I look at a guy like Ronnie Stanley, some of these guys, Shaq Mason now just getting released, like some of these veteran linemen, what's the market going to be? What are some teams going to say, hey, we have to get better up front so that we can run the football? I think it's going to be interesting to see how many teams try to copycat. The only problem is to me, it's like when you have 3 great players on an NBA team, with those 3 superstar teams. Like Saquon Barkley should not be behind that offensive line. It's absolutely crazy that this even happened because of how good they are up front and now Saquon. But if you want to copycat the Eagles, it's real simple. You need a bunch of second-round picks that get a chance to watch Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson, tremendous football players, play. You need a guy like Lane Johnson to last, freaking over a decade and play at a super high level. You need a rugby player who can come over after playing rugby and be an absolute freak at left tackle. Oh, and then find you a top 15 pick who's a bust, who can come in and move to a position he's never played in his life and be dominant. So if you want to copycat it, go for it. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, and get Saquon. Get a running back that can jump over people backwards. Saquon did say that he took less money to go to Philadelphia because of the big guys up front. He thought exactly what you said, exactly what a lot of people were thinking at the end of the year. It's like, that pairing, the greatest in history. He broke the record for, obviously, including playoff runs and playoff yardage. Most yardage by a running back in the history. And then his yards before contact was like a top 5 running back this year. Let alone his total yards, but his yards before contact, like that one, wasn't even touched there. His yards before contact living by itself as its own running back, top 5 running back in the entire league. So it's like that's directly to scheme and offensive line. And then I think his yak, he's like top 15 or something. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And Howie and Sirianni and everybody in Philadelphia was like, yeah, we want to do that again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would like to do that. Let's see how many times we can run that. Yeah, no shit. Mekhi Becton, what a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that not unbelievable? What is he, 6'7"
It is, man. Yeah, when you see these guys get a chance like that after the Super Bowl to reflect on the journey, and even to watch him, how emotional he would get to just being a part of a winning program, being a part of something just bigger than yourself. I think that feeling, you guys know this with the success y'all have all had together. It's like being a part of something bigger than just you, that all of a sudden you have all the success and it's going in the right direction. And yeah, you believed it, but you didn't really know if it happened. And then to sit there and be in those moments, to watch a guy like Mekhi, like it's tough, man. When you get in the NFL, you have this expectation at one place that you're going to come in and be dominant. I can remember him running the 40 and we all freaking out about it, which is a huge freak athlete he was. And then to have the injuries he had, which were real stuff, right? That it really a struggle to get through. And then to be labeled a bust. And you know what? When you say that about a top pick, it's like we say, man, your career is over. Like you were a top pick and now you can't make it. It's over. And you get to a place, you play a position you never played in your life, and you get around an awesome group that all of a sudden gives you confidence to believe in yourself. It's what's so freaking awesome about football, man, that you get that belief and now there's a new fragrance to you, man. You feel like you smell good, you look good, you play good. That to me is the beauty of this game.
Stoutland University over there does it again with Sirianni. And putting him at guard is obviously something that not a lot of people would do. And for him, going from being a top 15 tackle to go to guard is like a cornerback being told you're going to go to safety. Like you don't have it anymore. So for him to put his ego aside and be like, yeah, I just want to play ball, that's awesome. Now let's talk about the tackle coming into this year's draft out of LSU. Hey,
Death Valley.
Yeah, you're right. Don't say it. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, talking about top 15 tackles having to go to guard. I assume you know Will Campbell since you guys, I believe, went to the same hometown, same college, same position. He's the number 1 tackle on the board, and then he goes to the combine, and he has the shortest arms in 10 years or whatever it is. And now all the draft guys and all the stat guys are saying he can't play left tackle in the NFL. How do you feel about teams saying that guys with shorter arms can't play tackle and moving them to guard? You think Will be able to play out there, and just in general, just that whole situation going on with tackles moving to guard?
Yeah, I mean, you look at his tape and really how he played in college. I mean, there's nothing that sticks out and says, oh, he can't play tackle. Sure, you can go find you some clips of a guy long-arming him or something, but guess what? Every tackle in the entire group has got some play like that out there. But you look at really the physicality, the strength he has. I think he has a demeanor to play this game. And I say this all the time, man, never let people's opinions of you become your reality. And so his really willpower, who is he made of? What's his mettle as a man to say, you know what, give me that label that I can't play this position. I'll go show you I can. Because when I came out for the draft, not because of arm length or anything else, but because people thought I wasn't athletic enough, different than him, it was, hey, he could only play guard or possibly be a right tackle that could start for you, but he'll never play left tackle. So to this day, I can list you anything about any left tackles that ever played in my time, not because I hated any of those guys, but because some scouts said this guy won't play left tackle. I can list you the stats of who started the most games, played the most playoffs.
Who was it?
And won a Super Bowl, division championships, you name it. All right? You want to list the stat? Let's talk about it. But it's still something that lives in you, man. And so his drive and will to prove them wrong, that'll be his separator. And maybe he'll be at left tackle. Maybe he'll be being an all-pro guard. Who knows? But I think Will's wired right, and I'm excited to see his journey.
Willpower, Campbell.
Boom.
I have good willpower down there at offensive line. If you're an offensive lineman down there in the bayou, I'm impressed because of how hot it is. Mm-hmm. Carrying that weight around, which leads me to this. I was reminded of a part of your Walter Payton Man of the Year speech this morning. Got sent back in from Foxy, who's a Detroit Lions fan. For those that did not hear it or see it, here's Big Wit after winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year at the NFL Honors Show.
In our game against the Detroit Lions, I had a young player from the Lions run up to me as soon as the final horn went off. And I saw him sprinting over, and I didn't know what was going on. Like we'd known each other forever. I couldn't place him. It made me so nervous. Had I actually played long enough that like a coach's son or player's son is playing against me? He stopped that. He said, "Hey, man, you're not going to remember me. I'm Derek Barnes. You spent time with me when you were a young player in Cincinnati at the Boys and Girls Club, and it meant the world to me. You used to sit with me and talk to me about life, and I was just a little kid. I want you to know how much it meant to me." I said, "Man." He goes, "You know what? The main thing I want to say, Whit, I made it. I made it to the NFL, Big Whit."
Hey, getting choked up just watching it again. I couldn't imagine your feelings. He just signs a massive deal. Not only did he make it to the NFL, he just changed everything for him in the next generation of his family, $25.5 million. I said big brothers, big sisters. It was the Boys and Girls Club in Cincinnati. Hey, that had to be so cool to kind of experience that and see that. And also, for somebody to come up and say that whenever you decided to go do something to make the community better, you did. I'm happy you got your flowers in real time, Whit. Legit. I'm happy you got your flowers.
Appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it. I was a little hot and bothered right there. I was doing some sweating.
Yeah, what were you, 340 there? What were you?
I was 340, Pat. I'd come straight from practice. We'd been practicing we're actually playing in the Super Bowl, so I came straight from practice, got a car service. Believe it or not, they actually forgot the car service, so we had to drive.
I believe it.
We got a police escort, me and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp got Offensive Player of the Year, and I won Walter Payton, but we were hauling butt down the 101, the 405, trying to get to practice. Trying to get to the honors, and it was an amazing night. You know, Pat, the cool thing about that speech that I will say real quick is, you know, obviously you get put on the timer. We watch the award shows. The music's going to start playing. You only got so long. Hey, Whit, don't talk too much. We want you to talk a little bit. And so I gave that speech, and the only part I didn't get to finish it up with is obviously people walk away from that and go, "Man, you made an awesome impact in this kid's life at Boys and Girls Club. You were a rookie in the NFL, spending your Tuesdays hanging out with these kids, throwing the football, and developed a relationship." But I want to make sure people understand something, that act of service sometimes is as much for you as it is for them. And so what I really wish I could have buttoned it up with is that Derek Barnes changed my life every bit as much as I changed his in his mind. Because the real truth is, I was a Louisiana kid that had moved to Ohio. I was lost. I just gotten out of a long-time relationship. I didn't know who I was or what I was going to be. But the only thing that made me feel right is going and reminding myself, playing with these kids, man, that I started playing this game because I loved playing the game. And I loved being around people who just loved playing it as well. And it just got me back to reminding myself who I was and what I came from. And that filled my heart and gave me the passion to go chase it every single Sunday, that I'm going to change my family's life. So to see Derek Barnes now get this contract, have the opportunity that the game not only changed his life, but he's going to be able to change everyone around his life because of what he's achieved. That's the coolest freaking part of it, man. And he deserves all the credit in the world.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Hey, fulfillment's a real thing, isn't it? Isn't it crazy?
It is, brother.
Fulfillment is really the only thing worth getting or chasing. And those Community Tuesdays did a lot, not just for you, but across the league for young players. And I'm happy to hear that about Derek. What a story. I'm happy he remembered too, you know, because every once in a while those things just kind of come and go. He obviously, great dude, as are you. Connor had a question he wanted to ask you.
Yeah, Big Whit, we've heard this story a couple times from one of your buddies, Jay Glazer. Is it true that when you guys were down in Cabo, you were all hanging out in the pool and Drew Brees gave a big old cannonball, and then somehow, some way, you and Sean McVay and all the guys recruited Stafford on that trip to come to the Rams?
Got him boozed up.
Yep.
Got him boozed. Jay Glazer's out there serving booze.
Right.
Drew Brees is doing cannonballs.
Right.
And Big Whit's like, "Hey, why don't you come meet my friend Sean McVay? He's younger than you, but he's fucking ready to go." Is that what happened? Were you the mediator there?
You know what? We had a good time in Cabo, that's for sure. That I will say. We had a good time, a lot of good people, and a lot of those same people were still intertwined, man. It's been an awesome ride, that's for sure. But that was a cool moment, honestly. And Drew Brees did cannonball in the pool. Okay. I don't remember us being in the hot tub part. I don't know where Jay got that one. He may be kind of a little romantic at heart or something. I don't know.
I remember there was bubbles.
Yeah, classic place.
There was bubbles coming out. It was warm. It was heat.
Yeah, I think that's the salesman in him a little bit. But I do remember Drew Brees cannonballing in the pool and splashed us with water while we were actually sitting there having a dinner. It was Sean McVay's birthday, actually, and he cannonballed us. I thought that I got a lot of respect for Drew for that.
Absolutely. That doesn't sound like a Drew Brees.
No.
I respect the Drew Brees.
I think he'd had a dinner and had him a couple too, Pat. He was feeling good.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was feeling good. Like, hey, you know what? I think he remembered the NFC Championship, the non-call, and he said, you know what? These guys are a little too dressed up for me. I'm going to give them a cannonball and make sure they remember.
That changed football there for like a year. The pass interference was reviewable, and then it wasn't, and then now it stinks, and now it's back in with the who knows. That was a massive game, massive year for you guys. Fun to watch, and you're great, man. This is an incredible conversation. We can't thank you enough.
Anytime, brother. Appreciate you guys.
Whit and Fitz. Let's go do this. Whit and Fitz. Let's go do all of this.
I got the mug, baby.
Oh, you already got the merch. It's Fitz and Whit.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wait a minute. I'm holding it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Flip the wrong way. Sorry.
Just
Whit.
flip it upside down. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursday Night Football on Prime, Super Bowl champion Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah, Whit.
That Derek Barnes story.
It's awesome.
So cool.
And he has one of the biggest plays in Lions history. 2 years ago, divisional round, picks off Baker Mayfield, sends us to the NFC Championship. MC/DC guy through and through. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's, Walter Payton Man of the Year. They don't just hand those out.
No.
Right.
That is something you got to give back to the community in which you call home. And there's a lot more good around the NFL happening than bad, although the negative headlines are always the ones that are going to be chit-chatted about the most. Those Community Tuesdays are awesome. I got a chance to meet a lot of people. Children's Hospital. It's how I got hooked up with the military group, Wish for Our Heroes, that I started working with. I built a house at one point. I stopped by, a food. I don't know if it wasn't a pantry.
Bank?
It was like a food bank, but it wasn't. It was like serving food. Got a chance to be a part of that. It's really cool to kind of get in there and the feeling that you get, And I started this. I got lucky to start doing this type of thing in college with Bill Stewart. Bill Stewart sent us over to the hospital, which was across the street from the stadium. Rest in peace to Coach Bill Stewart. And it was like the first time going to see like sick kids and like families going through it. It's not just the kid or the patient that's going through it. It's also the family, the mom and the dad and the brother and everything that has stopped completely to try to hopefully save the life or fight through something that's very devastating. It's that type of fulfillment's awesome. If you get a chance to go and give back, I would recommend it wholeheartedly. It is a cool feeling, cool experience. And to Whit's point, you're getting a lot more out of it than you could ever expect whenever you're doing that. So shout out to Whit being a good dude and great. That was good football today.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
That was really good football.
Great insight.
We could have continued to go.
He's a great
we had,
talker.
45 more Jay Glazer questions?
Without a doubt. And actually, I believe Glaze was working out at the Village just
guaranteed.
yesterday with Chuck Liddell. So he's there.
Well, he has that unbreakable performance.
He does.
Glazer has that gym in L.A.
Yep.
I believe it's in Hollywood, above the Pink Taco.
Correct. Sure.
It's up the hill from the Pink Taco. I've worked out in there. And that's the Village right there, huh?
Yeah.
Jay Glazer's been traveling overseas to get injections so that he can continue to roll with these guys.
Good beard on him.
I know.
You kind of see Whit in the background, I think. Is that the big bald-headed guy in the background? Way back there?
yeah.
Near the door?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
That looks like a warrior.
That's a massive dude taking the photo there, though. I will say, the guy with the hat.
Another UFC guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you see those ears.
Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Chuck Liddell. The fuck's the Chuck Liddell?
Shout out.
Great Entourage episode.
Yep.
Shout out Johnny Drama. Hour 1 wrapping up here on ESPN News, YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. We will continue next hour on ESPN 2.
Nice.
Okay, moving on up.
The Deuce.
Did we do it?
How about it?
We'll also continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. And then we'll propel into the greatest weekend of all time. Why? Because it's the next weekend. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Remember, we might be riding dirt bikes today.
Look out.
All eyes on hour 2 on the other side. We'll see you then. There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands and thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands.
You're welcome.
We talk about mana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And we talk about mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't even let it bury its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me new Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Unreal.
the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit, mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Wow. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. Here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
To you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, March 7th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports! Are wonderful, and we're so incredibly thankful that we get to talk about them every single day. Thank you for watching, listening, wherever the hell you may be. Just a little housekeeping here. Big night in Pittsburgh. Date will be announced on Monday, and then ticket sales will begin shortly afterwards. This is within the next couple months. This will be happening rather quickly. And big laughs, big sing-alongs, big giveaways, big night out. More info coming on Monday. We are so incredibly pumped to do this. It's like... it's nothing like this particular program. It's nothing like any show, I don't think, that has existed in a long, long time. The giveaways are going to be gigantic. Millions of dollars are going to be given away, both in the arena and maybe a couple $100,000 for potential people watching at home. Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll see if that whole thing goes. The big laughs, yeah, we get some funny. There's some very funny things that'll be happening, we think. You know, you never know if anything's going to hit, but there is some hilarity in the story. And then the sing-alongs, get ready. Let's get those pipes ready to enjoy the hell out of a night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think you'll walk away from the show saying, wow, I could have never guessed what that was going to be. I can't believe insert name was here. Mm-hmm. And what a night. And I'm truly, truly excited and pumped for the opportunity. And Pittsburgh's the right place to do it at, too. You know, because the setup, the people, and the amount, it's just going to be great. Mm-hmm. So big night out information coming on Monday, when it will be, and then announcement of when ticket sales will be shortly after. We can't thank everybody enough for allowing us to be in a position to be able to do this. And the boys will be a part of the show, but it is not this show. That needs to be stated. Mm-hmm. It is not this show, but the boys will be a part of show throughout. The Talks Table is here at Boss Connor and at Ty Schmidt. I don't think that lake trout will be making an appearance.
You never know. Don't sleep on the fish. Look, I'm not going to say that it is. I'm not going to say that it isn't. And, who knows? Maybe you guys want to buy one of these things after. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you're
what
saying.
Do you mean buy one? I thought you caught that fish.
No, I know. Well, you would have to buy the hat to make it.
That's a good call. That's one half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Feel Good Friday Cowboys.
Right.
AP Tone. Yeah, did you buy that?
No, you have to buy the hat and then catch the fish. I just assumed you guys.
So that, once again, that used to be a fish.
Yes.
You took it to a taxidermist.
Yeah, taxidermist, hauled that thing out, and I told him, like, hey, can we keep the fins? And
Did you put any weights or lures or extra fillets inside of that trout so it would weigh heavier like those dudes in Ohio did that are currently in jail, I think?
No,
federal penitentiary.
Yeah,
I wasn't competing. Normally, if I was competing, I'd be a catch and release. This is just more so fun fishing, which I do all the time.
Yeah, and you're just like, show me your fish.
Yeah, bingo. That's one of the better fishing songs out there, And
Sure.
I'll listen to Hootie as well, just to get into the
artist
fish.
formerly known.
Yeah, of course. I'm in the Blowies, Hootie and the Blowies, not just Hootie.
No, they're blowfish. Fish.
Yeah,
we're talking about those.
Exactly. But no, I wasn't listening to anything like that. This was just a little casual.
Oh, so you were just out on Tuesday night.
Bingo, just hanging and banging.
Getting away from the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting away from the world.
Yeah.
Just going out there and angling a little bit out on the water.
Screaming fish on solo. That's how I like to relax.
Ty, you were a Big Ten angler.
That's right.
When do you get out? When do you find time to get out? And how come we don't have any fish hats from you?
Well, because, if you're a real angler, you ain't doing Mickey Mouse bullshit like this. And
What?
You know what else you're not doing? You're certainly not baiting your hooks with hot dogs. Okay.
That's because I'm old school. That's because I'm old school. Sorry. Sue me. I'm an old school guy.
How old school? Did you use a rod or?
I mean, look, for some of them, not for all. This was a rod catch, but I mean, I was.
Somebody gave me, because throughout College Game Day, you get out of the South. You go to a lot of different places, experience a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me this fishing contraption that was just like basically a hand. They're just pulling it out of like their suitcase or out of their bag.
I like that.
And it's just like a handheld thing, like for a small little.
Yeah, I got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I got one. Yeah, that's a good little thing. That is more so the pond fishing. I'll break out the hand if I'm going to a pond. This was a full rod situation.
Were you on it? Did you have a boat? You have a fishing boat?
Nah. I like to stay on the shore.
So you went to the lake and you fished on the shore?
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends on where fish.
Got it.
Depends on where.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, lakes all the time. Yeah, you can fish. I mean, you got to find the peninsula of the lake. But I mean, look, the fish hole that I was looking up that I found on the internet. It
was within a cast.
It did not require a boat or a kayak. Now I typically use a kayak. I'm not a boat guy. I don't want all the fishes to know where I'm coming in from.
Yeah,
kayak I can kind of
you
disguise.
sneak up on them.
Yeah, I can disguise a little
Canoe?
bit. I can get into those. I can get into those tight holes. That are in the corners.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we know you're able to get into real tight holes.
Yeah, well,
just by looking at the hat.
Yeah.
You know that.
I don't think I've seen
joining
those
us
in a
now.
while,
Yeah, we're joining us now. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner. I assume not an angler. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Hawk, are you an angler?
Yeah, you would assume right. I'm not an angler. I'm not scared to fish, but I've said on here, if I'm not catching anything in the first 5 to 6 minutes, it's going to be tough to keep me around.
Some of the worst moments of our entire professional career, for me at least, was when we were out on Lake Minnetonka and we were ice fishing in a shed, and I didn't catch anything for 2 hours, and everybody literally was catching fish all around me. Now, it was cold out there. We walked past some wolves, I think, to get out to the hub that we were at in the middle of Lake Minnetonka. I was promised a fish. I pulled a swordfish out at the end.
Yeah, huge.
With about 4.5 hours into this thing. We're supposed to be there for about an hour and a half. I couldn't catch a fish. And it could have been worse, I guess. Remember, Ty Schmidt was shitting in an outhouse that had no roof on the frozen Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah, that was an awful night. An awful night. Not only that, we did a podcast from inside the thing and went back to edit it when we got back, and boy, all you could hear was the wind. So that was a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, that is something. Ice fishing, more power to you if you like doing that, because we did it like the creme de la creme.
We had a little TV monitor.
Exactly, but boy, did that fucking suck, and I will never do that again. That is for sure.
Ice fishing is, hey, let's go drink 35 beers in a tent and catch a little baby fish every once in a while.
Correct. Yeah, in a shed on ice.
Yeah.
I went ice fishing with my dad when I was growing up. Tim, big angler. Tim's walking creeks. He's got the waders. He's doing the entire. I mean, he's out there. Has no idea that there's potentially holes that he should maybe try to find where there's actual fish, but he's going to snoop around. You know, he's gonna cast around. He took us ice fishing, and there was no shed or anything. It was just open lake. You know, open lake, and you know, you cut the fucking. You do the entire thing to cut the hole, and me and my brother and dad are all in the same hole there. And I guess I got fed up with it. I'm done with it. I head back to the car. I find a thin piece of ice. I go in.
Ooh.
I go into lake. Keep keys, though, for Tim's car up above. Because, boy, you lose keys, you're in a real bad spot, especially after you're in the lake. Tim McAfee comes sprinting across the lake, grabs me like one-handed, pulls me out, gets me wrapped up in blankets, tosses me in the car, turns it on. Everybody on the lake is worried, coming over to check on me. I look like the biggest asshole of all time. So it's like me and ice fish. I've gone twice. That time and then the Minnetonka time. And it has been absolute failures both times. Fishing's not easy. That's why you need that Van Damme wrist. Or you need to be able, whenever you catch a trout, you put it on a hat.
Yeah, when you lock eyes with that trout, you know if it's meant for a hat or not, and I just knew.
Had no idea you were a bass fisherman as well. We got pictures of Connor in the weekend competing.
Nice.
And,
Nice. There he is.
Con, man, that's unbelievable.
I didn't want to bring this up, okay? But yeah.
His hands.
Yeah, I dominated this weekend. It wasn't even close. Those guys with weights, I wish they were around still because I would have kicked their ass too. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I appreciate getting some Nitro ZS or Z5 in there, one of my favorite brands. And of course, you know, as always, I wouldn't be fishing without Bass Pro Shops. Go visit your local one today. Naturally, I was driving one of those beautiful whalers out on that deck. And if we could also give a little love to my favorite shades, of course.
Look on the fucking chest, Toyota.
I can't see it. Toyota. There it is. Yeah, mustard, of course. And I had a GoPro on my.
Don't forget Bush Light.
Bush Light, one of my favorite pints always. And GoPro, yes, I will be releasing a series with them, and naturally a quantum fishing. love working with them as well. But yeah, Toyota Corolla, that's the vehicle I drive, and that's the vehicle you should ride.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Mercury boat is the one.
You think they only make Corollas?
Mercury boat. Go get yourself a Mercury today. They also make kayaks, as I mentioned earlier.
That's right. And I believe this is actually Van Damme. This is the greatest of all time that we put your face on.
Well,
that's why there's 30 sponsors.
That was me. I don't know. Van Damme, his time's done. It's my time.
Okay. Shout out to you, Con, man. You out on the water, your Aquaman day with that octopus. That's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's next.
Yeah. Well,
there's Mr. Van Damme. He's the greatest of all time.
They photoshopped Van Damme on there.
What's his name? Kevin or Keith?
Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin Van Damme.
Michigan legend.
He's invited me to go fishing a couple different times.
You should do that.
Awesome.
No, but I want to tell him, like, buddy, I'm not the guy, pal.
He is the guy. Though.
6 minutes with Van Damme, you're the guy.
Yeah, he's got some Lee fit in him.
He does have a little Lee fitting. I see a little Lee in there, little handsome Lee.
No doubt.
My thing is, like, this guy always pulls fish. Always.
Yeah.
I get out there on this guy's boat.
No, not with Van Damme.
Those fish know I'm there. I don't know if they get smarter when I'm around. I don't know what the case is, but getting out on Van Damme's boat will certainly be a dream come true.
Yeah.
And shout out to Toyota getting us out there.
I love Toyota and Mercury boats.
Corollas.
I was trying to tell him while he was talking, I'm like, look at the.
I couldn't. I was trying to look up there, but the fish head's so big.
Fully loaded Corolla you got.
Big news. Big news around the NFL, not just in the fishing community. In the NFL, there's some big news. DK Metcalf has announced to the world that he would like to be traded from the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously a pillar of the Seahawks program for a while. John Schneider, the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, the man who is being tasked with rebuilding the Seahawks in a new image of McDonald as the head coach, the post-Pete Carroll era, was on with local ESPN, and this is what he had to say about DK Metcalf's trade market.
Everything's in a very cordial, professional place. Obviously DK has requested a trade, and we are, entertaining that. We are talking to a ton of teams, taking offers, seeing what that looks like, and here we go. I mean, you always have to do the thing to understand here is that, our responsibility to, Jody Allen, the 12s, first and foremost is doing what's absolutely best for the organization. A, and then B, what's best for the player. Hopefully, both those things merge and it's an ideal situation. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Hopefully in this situation it does, and that would be great. But worst case scenario, we have a amazing, explosive, powerful athlete playing receiver for us again in 2025. So we'll see where this goes.
Okay, so Schneider leaves the door open on the John Schneider Show, brought to you by Pizza Hut out there on Seattle Sports Network. He alludes to maybe DK's back next year if we're not able to find a partner, but we are certainly fielding offers. And he did what most GMs will do, is like, hey, my job is to make this team as good as possible, to ownership, to the fans. And if that involves moving on from DK, if we get a first rounder and a third rounder, or we get a second rounder and a third rounder for DK, and we think that's going to make our team better, we'll do that. You know John Schneider pretty well, right? What do you think the takeaway from what he just said was about DK?
I thought it was a very honest way to go about it. Yeah, of course, DK requests a trade. You can't sit there and claim that he did not, but I think he does a good job, too, of saying, yeah, we're fielding calls, lots of offers all around the league. That's a good job negotiating. Obviously, if a team comes out to get them, you want them to know that, hey, you're bidding against a bunch of different teams, so you better throw us some good compensation if you want this guy, such a stud player. But yeah, I guess there is a chance that he can come back and still continue to play for the Seahawks. I think it feels like it's not like personal. They're not letting business get in the way with like personal feelings or whatever. They know DK, he wants to go to a contender. He feels like they might not be there yet. And the Seahawks aren't really like taking it personally either. It's kind of like a business situation. I respect them for that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Now there's a chance DK puts out a tweet of a baseball cap. Yep, which has happened in the past whenever a GM talks about a wide receiver situation. Just a few weeks ago, T. Higgins was the one to tweet, that's cap. Everything you just said is a lie, even though we're negotiating. And yes, to your point, Schneider definitely wants people to think there's a lot of teams that are looking to get DK Metcalf. Want that to be the narrative, even if there's only one team. Even if there's no team, you would like that to be the narrative at this juncture, even though from what we know about GMs, if they hear that there's trouble, they're going to call and snoop around. So is that what he's hearing, or is he hearing actual negotiations? I guess TBD on that front. Brandon Beane would be a guy that would be immediately on the horn to Seattle as soon as he heard about him potentially, just from what we know. I'm not saying he's the only GM in the NFL that would do that, but from what he's actually told us, it's like, hey, I got guys monitoring stuff. We have people checking stuff. If somebody says they want to be traded, we will definitely call if it's somebody we're interested in and snoop around. I know Beane's not the only one, but he has told us that. Could you imagine DK going to Buffalo? Now, getting $30 million a year is going to be tough. $30 million a year is going to be tough, but that would be on Beane and the Buffalo Bills to sell like, hey, we're not going to be able to do that, but we definitely are able to, with what Shakir has become, with what Dalton Kincaid is, with what Josh.
We have Josh Allen. Yeah, we have Josh Allen. That's got to be your biggest sales pitch right away. Like, who wouldn't want to go be a receiver for Josh Allen?
And they just signed Bernard this morning. They just got a live on Good Morning Football. Great insider stuff. Out of Kyle Brandt. But Beane's a guy that would call, and he's not the only one. I don't think he's the only one that would certainly be snooping around.
Yeah, I think I read this morning Mike Garafolo reported that there have at least been 5 teams that he knows of that have already reached out to the Seahawks about DK, so it's tough to think that he would go back just because they might not get a first and a third, but if there are 5 teams that we know of, potentially upwards of like 10 teams who are calling him, you would think that someone is going to end up getting closer to what they want in return, and then it'll just come down to, is someone willing to give him $30 million a year?
Now, the Bills would not be able to do it with their salary cap situation.
Correct.
They would have to do massive salary cap gymnastics, but it's like, if you're a team that feels like you're close, you got to call DK and sell DK on like, not going to be able to give you $30 million a year. If he wants $30 million and to go to a contender, obviously that whittles away. That is like, guess who? Does he have a mustache?
Sure.
They all kind of knock down there. But with that being said, is there a happy medium where he ends up with a contender, gets $22.5 million a year? Is that what he's really looking for? Is he looking for the biggest check? I think we still don't know any of that information.
Yeah, because the biggest check thing, like he could just be wanting to be one of those top guys. If he were to be offered $35 million, but maybe it is more of a rebuild situation. Of course, I'm talking about New England. Of course, that is what I would want. And, although it is known as Taxachusetts, a few of those teams at the top there are. Like L.A., obviously, we know the L.A. tax situation is brutal. They're one of those teams.
He's in Washington now. He understands.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The Washington taxes are terrible.
I would just assume. My natural assumption is it's probably pretty good up there. The taxes are probably pretty solid in Washington.
Okay.
We should look that up. But my first thought is
first feeling
the state of Washington probably has pretty good taxes.
Yeah, but aside from with that situation, maybe that is good then. But like you can probably take off the Cardinals, you can take off the Rams, Vikings with a quarterback situation. Who knows? And then aside from that, like the Chargers and Commies, when it just comes to strictly money and the opportunity to.
I just got information. Washington is maybe no income tax.
Really?
Never heard that. You hear Tennessee?
It's just so far out there, we don't hear people go. We hear people going to Florida and Texas, but yeah, I guess
Tennessee, Florida, Texas. You never hear
Nevada.
Yeah, you never hear about Delaware. Income tax 0%. There is zero personal income tax in Washington. Holy shit! Let's add Washington. I apologize for my natural assumption being that Washington has massive taxes. Sales tax 9.38%. Sales tax rate is 6.5%. But some counties, local sales tax up to 4.1%. I don't know.
Wow.
I did not expect that at all. Sorry about that, Washington. I legitimately did not know that was the case. And shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Hey, shout out.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. And we will certainly add you in there. So, yeah, I guess Taxachusetts is going to have to do a pretty good little sell there.
Yeah, a few of them. Because I assume the D.C. area as well. That would be an assumption I have. Like, their taxes must be an absolute
The Commanders with DK Metcalf.
Yeah. And Debo.
And Terry.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like an embarrassment of riches. I don't know if they're going to be running.
They got $95 million.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they did just get rid of Allen today, too, so who knows. And
they got rookie quarterback salary right now,
exactly.
Which we talk about. If you have a rookie quarterback contract, you can build up around. He's not going to want money until probably after next year. Right, so you got at least a 2-year run. Maybe after this season he wants to redo it, but I don't think the Commanders would feel obligated to do as such, especially after a second-year quarterback, unless he just goes bananas. And maybe they do reward him, which is what teams can and have done in the past. But they probably got 2 years here at least where they don't have a lot of money at the quarterback position, which is quite a weapon whenever you're building a team. DK, Terry, Debo. And then Robinson running back?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Brian Robinson. Another one that would
be... Is Zach Ertz still the tight end?
Yeah.
Or is he a free agent?
I think he's got 1 year left, I believe.
A cool team, just looking at that board too, depending on who they have to pay, still would be the Lions. Because Lions have $51 million. Who knows if they're going to pay Hutch right now because he's coming off an injury and the money is so absurd. But a team like Detroit would be sweet. And obviously Pittsburgh as well, Tony.
Detroit's style of play would welcome DK, I would imagine as well. I see these clips going around the internet too of DK just blasting dudes all over the field.
They got 51.3.
Ertz is a free agent.
There was a little bit of room. He is. Ertz is free. I thought I saw his name on something. But they could probably get him back. I mean, he had a great year.
Yeah, I would assume that he'd be happy to go back and play with Cliff for another year.
Yeah, offense he knows. Jaden Daniels he knows.
Likes him.
Also became like a leader feeling from looking from outside in on that particular team. Detroit Lions with $51.3 million. What are you guys going to do with it?
I would absolutely love it because I don't think Tim Patrick has been signed yet for the next coming year. He'd be the perfect. We'd have J-Mo, St. Brown, and DK Metcalf. DK loves the block. He'd fit in there perfectly. I personally don't think they will do it. I think they're going to focus on the defensive side and focus on getting their guys that they already have paid, just like they did with Derek Barnes.
How about we just mention the Vikings? Imagine the Vikings with Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf and Jordan Addison. I mean, these are the teams that have just a shitload of money right now where we're sitting. And now, granted, Vikings need to pay a quarterback potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of names being rumored back to the Vikings as a veteran quarterback, unless J.J. McCarthy is just the guy. Kirk Herbstreit said the other day on the show, team's going to get better with J.J. McCarthy as quarterback. They went 14-3 last year.
Yeah.
Said they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
He said no, they might not win as many games, but whenever the time comes, J.J. shows up, is what Kirk Herbstreit said. He's not the only one. I think Herbstreit sent me somebody else saying something like very overwhelmingly positive about J.J. McCarthy.
Yes.
I forget who it was.
I do not think we could find that statement from
as being real.
Original source.
Okay, that's how it all came about. He got McCocknerd potentially.
It was Brady.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It feels like I'm talking to myself. Yeah. Herbie said that over. I'm not the only one who likes JJ, but it does feel like there is a lot of positive convo around JJ. Is that because the Vikings are ready to go with him and they need it to be positive around him? Or is it because, that team should go? So, that quarterback position is very important. They're talking about if Sam Darnold doesn't go there, maybe Sam Darnold, there's rumors of him going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, DJ said it.
Maybe Kirk Cousins goes back to Minnesota on a cheap deal because he's getting paid by Atlanta. What if Aaron Rodgers goes to Minnesota on a one-year deal to lead J.J. McCarthy or something small? The world is literally seemingly wide open at the quarterback position for the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they got a lot of great opportunity to be great. Joining us now is a man who has opinions. A man who studies the NFL, studies all the draft prospects. He just got done with a 4-day combine where he talked about every single player that is potentially going to be a Hall of Famer and every single player that's potentially going to be a bust and every single player that is potentially going to be insurance salesman. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Jeremiah.
Yay!
How you doing, DJ?
I'm doing great. AJ's face when you said that I correctly identified all the Hall of Famers was pretty fantastic, by the way.
Well, yeah, he probably thinks
I trust you.
Nobody can do that. But if anybody could, it would be you. You were the one that Tone quoted as saying maybe Kirk or Sam Darnold to Pittsburgh or Kirk to...
He said both. On the 40s in free agency show, I believe it was, I was listening to it this morning. He said, if the Steelers don't sign Justin Fields, and Sam Darnold doesn't go back to the Vikings, Sam Darnold to the Steelers, and then he was the first one to talk about Kirk potentially back to the Vikings.
Which would be insane, especially after he goes and gets his bag. The Vikings didn't want to pay him, allegedly, because they had to pay Justin Jefferson and everybody else. Then he's able to go back to the offense that he knows has done very well, and he also got paid, and the Vikings don't have to be the one. That would be the best-case scenario for the Vikings, I feel like, in their mind with the Kirk Cousins situations. How do you see it working out, especially after the combine with the QBs?
Yeah, I think the quarterback carousel is fascinating. Let's start with Pittsburgh there, Pat. I just feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers, when we get to Monday, when this whole thing kicks off, that they have to have either Justin Fields or Sam Darnold in the fold. To me, those are the two guys that make the most sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, whatever way they go, we'd have to wait and see. And then with Sam in Minnesota, I think it's tricky because it makes sense for, obviously, the year he's coming off of, Minnesota try and bring him back, but I don't know how long the commitment would be. So if everything's equal, if you have Minnesota with a one-year offer and say it's Pittsburgh and whoever else is in the mix there, if it's all 1 year, even for less money, I think you stay in Minnesota if you're sitting there as Sam Darnold. But if one of these teams is willing to commit to you longer than that, I think you have to take it. And then it leaves Minnesota with I think people misinterpreted the Cousins thing. Like, why would he bring back Kirk and then not let JJ go? No, JJ is going to be the starter, but you have to have some veteran insurance there. First of all, the guy needs to stay healthy. And with Kirk Cousins, I just thought it was a unique opportunity of somebody who, as you guys were mentioning, knows the offense inside and out. Atlanta's foot in the bill, so it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you next to nothing. He can literally play for the league minimum like Russell Wilson did last year. So. That's why I thought that was a fascinating one. And some people thought that shadow maybe would be too big for JJ. But Pat, you go to me on that one. Anybody that's met Kirk Cousins or been around Kirk Cousins, like that's not really who he is. I don't think that would be the case at all.
He had a lot of success in Minnesota. Would he want to go from, being a backup to Michael Penix Jr. to a backup to J.J. McCarthy? Kirk Cousins would have to have that discussion because who knows what the market looks like for Kirk Cousins. And aren't people saying that maybe he's back with Atlanta as the backup quarterback for Penix Jr.? Anyways, you're saying no from what you're hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I know that's been out there, but that's in the Falcons' best interest to put that out there. That, hey, no, we're comfortable. Nope, we're not going to cut him. We're gonna hold on to him. So if you want him, you got to trade for him, and then you're going to have to eat some of this money. So that I don't really read too much into what's coming out of Atlanta on that point.
Okay, so on that note, let's assume Kirk is available. There's probably some teams like, what about the Raiders? What about the Raiders that potentially would like a Kirk Cousins? Maybe Tom Brady says, Kirk has played a lot of winning ball. He's obviously very quick at learning things. He's fast. He's smart. And even if we get a young guy, watch Kirk work for like a year or two. Kirk is another stopgap quarterback almost, and he can maybe win some games. Kirk will win you some games. Now, are they going to be able to win a Super Bowl? Who knows? But I'm excited to see who ends up where. What about Aaron Rodgers for the Minnesota Vikings?
Ooh.
What about Aaron Rodgers for the Minnesota Vikings? Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. It would only be a one-year deal, we would assume. So J.J. McCarthy gets to watch, gets to see how Aaron would operate. For 1 year, it's not a long-term investment. I don't know if Aaron's looking for a 2-3 year investment. A.J. Hawk would be the one that'd be able to give that type of information. But as you think about the Brett Favre path here, it's like you go to the Jets, doesn't work out. You over to Minnesota, it did, though.
Big time.
And especially now, it looks like it could work out, especially if you're an accurate quarterback who knows where the hell to go with the ball. That is seemingly what matters in a Kevin O'Connell offense, DJ.
Well, can you just repeat it and say it again with Minnesota and Aaron Rodgers? Because I wasn't looking at AJ. I want to look at AJ's reaction and to see if I'm a good poker player, if I can read it and get a good feel for what this looks like.
AJ, all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. I think he would be okay with Aaron finding a good home. Right, AJ? Isn't that kind of how you would view that? But Packers fans would not be thrilled, obviously.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Favre thing was one thing because he played with the Jets and you just didn't. And then, obviously, he came in and kind of beat the Packers' ass when he was with the Vikings. But this one would just be, I mean, I lived it once. I don't need to live it again. And this Vikings team, kind of like that Vikings team with Favre, like there's a chance they could, if he plays the way he did at the end of last season, they could win a Super Bowl with him, which would be just the worst thing ever.
And could you fathom Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Devontae Adams,
Aaron Jones back?
Yeah, that would be bad.
Jordy Nelson coming off the farm?
He would never.
AJ, what are your thoughts on all of it? Obviously speculation, and who knows how much you know, legitimately, who knows how much you know from that side of it, but these are all potentially possible right now with this current quarterback carousel, AJ.
Yeah, I guess they are. Like Minnesota seems weird for me for that to happen. I feel like with J.J. McCarthy, why would you want Aaron in there? I feel like you want J.J. to come back and start and have like maybe a vet backup that would, you would feel good about if J.J. has a hiccup, to help him out. Aaron is going to come in and be a starter wherever he goes. I would imagine that's what he plans on doing. But DJ, like, where do you think is actually a good fit for Aaron? Like coach-wise, schematically, where do you think you are legit possibilities?
Well, I mean, the one that was number one on the list was the Rams until Stafford, and that got all worked out. That was the one that made the most sense.
Are the Giants going hard at him, DJ? We heard yesterday. Who was that? Was that Art?
That's it.
Art was telling us?
Art Stapleton said they're negotiating right now. He covers the Giants.
I have not heard the Giants connected with any of the veteran quarterbacks other than Aaron Rodgers. And for a team that feels like when you look at the situation there, with coach and general manager like this, there's some urgency here. We need to get ready to go. We need to win right now. So who's the win right now quarterback? It's Aaron Rodgers. So that one to me seems like there should be some urgency on their part. I know I felt like with the Giants, if they had two tracks, they either trade up to one to get Cam Ward and ensure that they have Cam Ward, and then maybe they shop in kind of that second tier veteran backup market for just some insurance there for Cam to kind of help him, maybe buy him a little bit of time. But if they don't have a deal done as we go into free agency, then to me, it's like they got to, I don't know who else is in on Aaron Rodgers, but it would seem to reason that nobody should outbid the Giants. They would have the most to gain there.
Allegedly, the offer they made to Stafford was very big, and the comp for the Rams was worthy of a trade in Les Snead's eyes and Sean McVay's eyes. And then Matthew Stafford met with them on Friday morning of the Combine and decided he was going to stay with the Rams. Sean McVay has described that deal as being very selfless. So we don't know the actual numbers, but we think it's going to be a lot less than what the Giants were offering. That's kind of seemingly how the story was going. Would Daboll and he be a good fit, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Look, they've got some good pieces in place, so they need to get a couple more offensive linemen. Obviously, with Saquon leaving, everybody's going to focus on that. But Tyron Tracy is nowhere near Saquon Barkley, but he's a good player. Like, he's a good back. Neighbors is a legit number one wide receiver with New York. So they've got a couple interesting pieces in place, and they need to be active here upcoming in free agency. All these teams have money, and to me, I think you're going to see, a lot of them are actually going to be kind of patient and wait for the second wave. The Giants, to me, would be one of those teams that would serve to be a little bit aggressive here, come out the chute and get something done.
Yeah, come on, Giants. Because last offseason we saw, this offseason, let's do something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck out there. We're pulling for you. Let's stick with the quarterbacks, especially with the veteran ones. The conversation that's looming with all the vets, these young guys trying to make a name for themselves. Connor, Aquaman has a question for you.
Yeah, DJ, it feels like those top 5 picks are huge, especially those first 3, just kind of shaping the rest of the draft and kind of free agency. Do you see 2 quarterbacks going in the top 5 picks? You mentioned the Giants trading up there, and from reports that we've heard, the Browns are definitely taking a quarterback, and we saw Mary Kay Cabot report that, they love Shador, that one man's brash is another's treasure is what was in the article she wrote about how they feel about Shador. Do you see the Giants and Browns definitely going quarterback here? Do you think that's possible? And then are the Titans definitely not taking a quarterback? Is that completely out of the question? There's no way they're taking a QB. They're definitely going to roll with Levis for another year or sign one in free agency?
I would say up in the air on the first pick with the Titans. I wouldn't rule out Cam Ward there. I think that's still a legitimate possibility. The interesting thing would be if Rodgers gets done with the Giants. If Rodgers gets done with the Giants and you're in a kind of all in right now, we need to win to survive, so to speak. To me, if you're sitting there and Travis Hunter's there and you're the Giants and I've got a chance to have Aaron Rodgers and I can go out on one side with Malik Neighbors and maybe the first year maybe we want Travis Hunter to just kind of focus more on offense. Man, that changes that offense real quick, and they become very interesting and very exciting. So that might pull the Giants out of the quarterback market, even at Aaron's age. I just think there's an urgency there. So that one is TBD. The Browns, I've been saying all along, made the most sense as a team that needed to take a quarterback. Now, talking to people around the league, there's some that say, okay, yeah, no, they're going to take a quarterback, but I wouldn't necessarily make it a lock that they're going to do it with their first pick. They've done their homework on this second-tier quarterbacks as well. So don't rule that out.
On
so,
who?
We'll see.
Daniel Jeremiah? Because I read a Kurt Warner tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this. Kurt Warner put out a tweet. He's watching all the film of all the guys. Okay, as you know, Kurt Warner, he does all his work. He's diligent to a T in everything that he does talking ball. Been watching the last 4 games for top NFL draft QBs, and Will Howard had the best 4-game stretch of any quarterback I've watched so far. And it really wasn't even that close. Great throws, consistent accuracy, downfield throws, good reads, multiple concepts, etc., etc., etc. He'd continue to go on with etc. if he could. He ran out of characters in that entire thing. And he saw the same 4 games that we saw live in person, which is why I felt the way I did going into the combine. He had a bad day, huh? Throwing at the combine, DJ, that's what they're saying. He had a bad day out there. What's the takeaway of Will Howard? And is Jackson Dart solidified as the number 3 QB now?
Well, first of all, Kurt sent me that text. I was going back through it to pull it. Yeah, because he knew Will Howard going back to K-State because his kid played with him at Kansas State. So he's known about Will for a long time. But yeah, look, I agree with you in terms of that 4-game stretch. It was a really nice run.
You agree with Hall of Famer Kurt Warner? You agree with Hall of Famer Kurt Warner? You mean? I'm sorry, not just me.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you got to do more than just
ball knower, former Iowa Barnstormer, Kurt Warner. You name
movie star.
Guy knows ball. You agree with Kurt Warner and myself and
America's underdog
and many others. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He is America's underdog. He's look. The thing when you look at him and Will Howard is just. Do you have, can you drive the ball? Do you have enough just pure velocity? And can you fit balls in windows that you didn't necessarily have to do much of there at Ohio State? That was the question. The combine, look, Pat, he didn't throw it great there. I think you can help yourself at the combine in the throwing. I don't necessarily ever punish anybody for what you see in the
Us
throwing.
neither. We like that.
It's come on. You're throwing to guys you don't know. It's a weird atmosphere. So I don't hold that against him. You get a chance at his pro day to throw to guys he knows and he's familiar with. I think you'll see him throw it better. I think he's in that conversation for the third, fourth quarterback. The names you hear the most. I have Jackson Dart as the 3rd. Tyler Shuck is in that conversation with a lot of teams who are high on him. And then there's Will Howard. If you're looking for a place for Will Howard, it's pretty easy dots to connect. If the Raiders aren't super active in addressing the veteran side of things and they just get a stopback quarterback, who knows Will Howard better than Chip Kelly? So why would that not be an opportunity for him somewhere on day 2 to land with a coach that he's very familiar with?
They have no quarterback in Las Vegas currently, although Max Crosby has come out and said would love Aaron Rodgers as a Las Vegas Raider, which adds a whole nother, because maybe Will Howard does come in behind Aaron Rodgers. There's just so many situations where it sounds like signing the veteran free agent doesn't necessarily change the mindset of the team trying to get a young quarterback. And you know who's been doing this consistently? The Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
It's almost just like this is what you need to do with the current model of NFL that we're in right now.
Well, if
you know what we need though? You know what we need though, guys? Sorry, Boston.
Oh, my bad.
Connor, we got to get a deal that we don't even know about. We are talking about the same names, right? The veteran names, the draft names. We've been talking about them forever. The NFL needs to come through for us early next week, and we need a quarterback trade that just shakes the whole thing
to
up.
the Lakers. Yeah.
Well, I'll take that. I don't know that we're going to get the Luka level, but who's like a mid-tier, like 12-6 game.
Maybe there's big names on the potential trade market. Might not be a quarterback, but Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, DJ, I wanted to ask about the Chargers since you cover them. You do their play-by-play. It feels like we were talking about like they could be a wide receiver away from a deep playoff run. Obviously, they hit on Lad McConkey last year. They have Quentin as well in there. Like, is a guy like DK, do you see them potentially going after a guy like DK or Devontae, who said he's wanted to play out on the West Coast? Do you see them making a big splash in the wide receiver market this free agency?
Those are interesting names, and Godwin would be another kind of veteran that's out there that would really help. To me, if you're looking for the complementary piece, like DK would be, he fits because of he's like a jumbo-sized Mike Williams, who Herbert had a ton of success with the big physical wide receiver on the outside, would complement Lad McConkey a lot. I also think you can look at Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, skill set wise, like the way he plays is similar to the way Keenan Allen functioned with Herbert, and Keenan Allen's numbers when he was with the Chargers were off the charts. So that one would make some sense as well. So I think Joe Ortiz loves draft picks, and I was with him and worked with him in Baltimore and have known him forever. I know he's a big fan of holding on to his picks. So that would be the one thing on the DK side of it that, depending on how much that costs in terms of draft picks, maybe that pushes him towards one of these other free agents that you can go out there and just pay.
I do wonder where DK is going to head to. Where's Myles Garrett going to end up? There's some big names.
Everybody's saying DK to New England, man. Everybody in the league thinks that.
I like that. I like that, DJ. Keep spinning that
What do you mean
wheel.
in the league? What do you mean? You're getting texts from people around the league saying...
No, yeah, DK comes available. You just talk to a bunch of buddies around the league, and they're like, that just makes too much sense. They have all the money. They have all the space. They have no weapons. The high second-round pick, what are they picking, like 38, something like that?
Yeah, and they got 2/3.
So you give a
so there's a second-round pick, DK Metcalf.
Boom, second and third, 2/3. $35 million. Get your ass over here. You can't spell Metcalf without May. Boom. You can't spell McAfee without May.
Yeah, there's a Y in there. There's a Y in there. But the quote of Vrabel saying we got compensation, we got opportunity up here. And he's trying to shift that culture. You get DK in there, bought into, not a bad person for Drake May to be able to.
What if Drake May, like if you're the Patriots, and I think that they would have competition here from the Chiefs because of the moves that the Chiefs made. The Chiefs now have a hole at left guard, left tackle. Ronnie Stanley makes a ton of sense for the Chiefs to kind of be aggressive in free agency. I would also say New England should be at least having the Ronnie Stanley conversation. You go out in the first week and you give Drake May a left tackle and a number one wide receiver, now we're cooking.
Yeah, Ronnie Stanley is reportedly the number one free agent target for the
Who's saying that? Stutz and Puts?
So I don't know about Stutz and Puts, but I do know that there are people in the area in the know that are saying Stanley is the top guy for them, and then a couple other names, of course.
One of them up there said something terrible about me. Josh Pate went to bat for me.
Oh, yeah,
Appreciate you, Josh.
Boy, Pate.
Appreciate you, Pate. Appreciate you, Pate. Let's get back to some college conversation.
Yeah.
Ty Schmidt has a question for you.
Yeah, DJ, you put out your top 50 again today, and there was actually quite a bit of movement post-Combine. Is that more so guys that didn't perform well at the Combine, or is that guys who performed very well and just, by happenstance, other guys fell? And how much is that going to actually change by the time the draft gets here?
I think that's a great question, Ty. I think there's a bunch of clumps in this draft. Like, if you look at different points in like the top 50, I have, the receiver clump. I think all three of those guys are evenly graded. For me, you've got Matthew Golden, you've got T-Mac at Arizona, you got Ibuka at Ohio State. They're all slightly different. I gave them the exact same grade. So at this point in time, I'm like, I'm going to clump them together. I've got a lot of time between now and the draft. Now I can just do a project where I'm just going to watch those three guys one after another, go watch them against press, go through all those different, cut-ups you can, and try and figure those three out. So it's kind of put those clumps together. We've got the edge rushers, Mike Green, James Pierce. You got Izaraku from Boston College. Like, those guys are all kind of similarly graded. So you're kind of identifying these little clumps, but guys that moved up, I'll give you a couple examples. You look at Max Harrison from Kentucky. We talked about the fact he was gonna run really well, which he did. So that wasn't a surprise. That's not why he moved up. My thing was the tackling was a little bit inconsistent. When you're at the Combine, I got more information on him and talking to teams that had visited with him and medical stuff. And they're like, dude, he was playing with a messed up shoulder. So that's why the tackling wasn't as good. So I'm like, okay, I can forgive that sin. move him up a little bit. Trey Amos, the corner from Ole Miss, I loved everything about him except the LSU game. I thought they kind of ran away from him a little bit, and it caused me to question his pure top-end speed. Everything else is really good, fluid, instinctive, can play the ball. I think he goes and runs 4.43. So I'm like, okay, well, that answered the question I had on him. So he moves up a little bit. So that's just kind of a look into the process. And sometimes you see a guy slide 2 or 3 spots, and people are like, what the heck did he do? Why did he fall? I'm like, he didn't fall. There's a couple guys behind him that answered some questions and ended up moving ahead of him. So that's what it is.
Your top 50 prospects are based on these are the best 50, or this is how you think they'll go?
Just mine, just how I rank them, how I stack them. So nothing to go with where how high they'll go. I have 2 tight ends in the top 6 players in the draft. Those are 2 of the highest graded players in the draft. Now, I don't think when it's all said and done, they're both going to go there in the top 6. But for me, I think they're the 2 of the 6 best players.
So you got Tyler Warren up there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tyler Warren's way up there, and then I have Loveland right behind him.
Loveland is going to be cleared for action, I do believe. I think he has a pro day or something like that. Some doctor came out and said that was like a big deal this year for the Combine. This doctor has sent a note to all the teams letting him know he's not healthy enough to compete at the Combine, although he'd want to. He will be back at a later date. That felt more prevalent this year than ever before. Loveland a dog, Tyler Warren a dog. Arroyo right down in Miami. Then there's a Western Kentucky guy. Bowling Green guy.
Bowling Green, yeah, Fannin, yeah.
So this tight end position is becoming more prevalent, you think, as the years go on, or just this class?
It's a really good class. It's as deep of a class. Mason Taylor's going to be a stud, too.
Oh, that gauntlet drill.
He's so smooth. He didn't vary off the line. He just drew a perfect line right down.
That's like teach tape, right? Like, hey, this is how the drill is run. And then I saw 25 miles an hour at one point. I think that was maybe the ball that came in.
Yeah, it was picking that
But
up.
nonetheless, he was still at like 20, and it's the tight end, 19, 20 miles an hour, while just poom, poom, poom.
So my uncles growing up, Pat. One of them was a pastor. One of them was
God bless him.
Drove a cab, right? His uncle, his dad, Jason Taylor, is Uncle Zach Thomas. So I think like there's a little bit different upbringing in terms of the football side of things there.
Yeah, but what you did at App State, we'll never forget.
Hell yeah.
We'll never forget up there on the rock, I do believe is the way it is described. Back to the NFL. AJ has a question for you.
Yeah, quasi NFL thing, DJ. We popped those quarterbacks up there, and they're going to be throwing in. It got me thinking of these pro days that are coming up.
Okay.
Is there a chance any of these young quarterbacks go to these pro days and something happens and someone jumps up the board or a team falls in love with maybe a guy other than Cam Ward, Shadur? We know Jackson Dart is up there. Is anyone on this list you think someone could fall in love with after their pro days? And can you actually gain something when you go and you watch a guy throw at his pro day?
Yeah, I would say more the private workout, So if you're a team that's in the quarterback market, you'll go to the pro day. You'll watch them throw there. But you're going to see, more impact based off of a private workout. We're going to ask you to run, throw the routes that we like to feature in our offense. Maybe there's some holes in your game that we have questions about. So in our workout with you, we're going to put you through the paces and see if you can fill those gaps. And when that happens, that's when you see teams fall in love with them. And to be honest, usually when you have those private workouts, they're accompanied by a dinner. You're spending more time around the guy. You just get more comfortable with him and kind of, what he's all about. So, yeah, I think you can absolutely fall in love with a quarterback from here towards we get to the draft. I think there's absolutely a chance that happens. Kyle McCord, by the way, we didn't mention him. He threw it well. He threw it really well in Indy. And, he kind of gave me like Derek Carr vibes coming out of Fresno State. And, Derek started a long time in this league. So he'll have some sponsors.
Yeah, Kyle McCord, a lot of football.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of football. That's a big stat, I think, especially here in Indianapolis. People are starting to respect a lot more.
Dude, experience, man. You're not. It's tough to develop these guys in the NFL. So the more experience, that's just more opportunity, not only on the game field, but on the practice field. You're seeing different coverages. You're making different throws. Like that, those reps just stack up.
And responding not only on the field to different things happening, but in life and as a teammate and as a leader, like knowing how to respond to situations or how not to respond to situations because you've done it in the past or you've experienced. There's a lot of things happening for the first time with Anthony Richardson. Like first time this happens. First time you actually take a big time shot from an adult, okay? First time ever. taking one of those. And then you feel that for the first time. How do you respond? Tapping out, making an ass of yourself, basically. Tapping out because you're tired. How do you respond to that? Being a professional, being a teammate, first time, how do you respond to that? So it's like he didn't have a lot of football. So he didn't have a lot of learning curve. Obviously now we're hoping we're getting to the point where he can start kind of cracking into his potential, because obviously he can be a superstar. But these guys that are having success, a lot of football. Lot. Jaden Daniels, a lot of football. Cam Ward, a lot of football. All of them have experienced multiple places too now, right? So I think that kind of helps. C.J. Stroud, I guess, only Ohio State Buckeye, but he played a lot of football. It's like Cam Ward, Shador, a lot of ball.
Gabriel.
Jackson Dart, a lot of ball. Dylan Gabriel, a lot of ball. Kyle McCord, a lot of ball. Quinn Ewers, a lot of ball. It's like Jalen Milroe obviously played a lot of ball. It's like there's a lot of ball in these guys. Even though I guess the top end conversation about a majority of these guys isn't there, it's like a lot of experience, a lot of success, which I think is
And they've been through it. I think the most important point is they've been through some adversity.
Yes.
Like that was always, and I was in Baltimore, that was Ozzie Newsome's first question to every player that came through was, give me an example of some adversity you've been through and tell me how you got through it and got on the other side of it. And like Bo Nix should be the poster child for that. Like he got run out of the state of Alabama. I mean, the grief that he took from his time at Auburn, and then he gets on the other side of that, goes to Oregon, and takes off like a rocket ship, man. So that shows you somebody that's dealt with real adversity, has overcome it. In the NFL, that day's coming for everybody where you're going to have those moments. So how do you respond to it? And I think a lot of guys that have failed, not just at the quarterback position, but at other positions, man, they're a 5-star kid all the way going up through high school. They're highly recruited. They don't really have any struggle on the college field. They're playing against guys they're always better than each and every week. And then all of a sudden some adversity hits, and it's like they don't know. It's like a shock to them. They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, and then the ability just to transfer anytime something maybe is mean said to you, that adds into the whole. By the way, if you're a high school player or in the transfer portal or want to get in the transfer portal, we're looking for dogs at West Virginia.
Okay.
There you go.
We are looking for dogs at West Virginia. Just know West Virginia's open this next spring transfer
We're
portal.
just selling opportunity at App State, baby. You go get your money elsewhere. We're about opportunity at our place, man.
Clyde
Come on in.
Christensen's up there, I think.
Yes,
Coach,
he is. How about that? Put that on the sales pitch. You want to get coached by somebody who's coached Peyton Manning and Tom Brady? Come on up the hill.
and Andrew Luck. I mean, you're talking about like that is a weapon. He was at North Carolina, obviously, alongside Drake Maye. He said Drake's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pass on Drake, you pass on a Hall of Famer.
And he was right.
This guy's smart, he's athletic, he's fast.
Good kid.
Have you ever had? By the way, I think you slipped a little Trump in there. Have you ever heard anybody say anything bad about Coach? By the way, ever in your entire life? He's like the best human being.
He owed me $5 for a couple weeks. There were some terrible things said.
Doesn't pay his debt.
No, he does. Fast pay, fast friends, right? That's his kind of his MO. So I was on his board for a while because he would have a putter and then obviously have like a hole in his office. Mm-hmm. So you'd walk by, hey, like you're walking past a game show, and he'd be like, two putts. You think he can go out in the hallway? I'm rolling it into his office, see if he can make it. And it'd be 5 peanut M&Ms, wouldn't be actual money, of course. Sure. Yeah. And if you missed it, you go on the board. And then the next day, if you walk by, it goes, still on the board. It's like a reminder, and I'd been up there for a little bit. I've been up there. He's a legend, man. Great coach. Great man.
He's a good man. Good man.
Him and Frank Reich were my quarterback coaches. So
how about that?
I have a lot of respect for them.
Couple legends.
Yeah.
Frank Reich, I don't know how that all ended with him. I hope he's okay.
A raw deal.
Golfing.
I hope he's okay. I genuinely hope he's okay.
If there's anybody is going to come back, it's Frank Reich.
2 biggest comebacks, one in college, one in the NFL.
There you go.
What a legend. All right. We appreciate you, DJ. Enjoy the trip. Congrats on 25 years. Quarter of a century is a long time in love, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate you guys. Good to see you.
Happy anniversary, DJ. And thank you, Daniel Jeremiah.
Hell yeah, DJ!
25 years, he and his bride.
That's awesome. Incredible.
Congratulations.
That's a long time.
Long time.
That's love.
Yeah, he's a pro. He's a true pro.
Yeah, he knows. I was wondering about his pull away speakers against Ole Miss. There's people pulling away from him. It's like, damn, DJ, how much he when he gets to the combine, he is excited to unload all of the information. He has watched 300 some guys games.
I don't know if he has an Excel spreadsheet or whatever. So I was listening to his podcast, and they talked about a guy. He was like, "What draft is that? 2021?" He's like, and then he pulled him up real quick, and he had like 3 quick hitters, what he does on the draft about that player and like what the prospect is. He has so much information on every single
Yeah, so I got to sit next to him, whenever I'm doing the combine, and he does have like, and he has like little code things too, because he can't have it all. So there'll be like a letter, and that'll mean something, and then there'll be a comma, and there'll be something else, and there'll be something else.
Color.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because it's all like it's pretty. Because there's so many. So it can't be like something that's too big. So it's just like one line with the person and one line with the person. And the person will go and he would like literally, you'd see him and he'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then he would say, this guy, and he would get right into it. It's like 300 dudes. That's so many.
New every year, new guy, always churning out new dudes too. You gotta go, man. It just seems like overwhelming to think of to be that, have that job.
And then as he's watching them film, he's like, this guy's got no shot, but gotta know.
Yeah.
Gotta know about this guy. Yeah, because there's a chance he's gonna get drafted, so I have to be in the middle of it. We're very appreciative of Daniel Jeremiah showcasing his intelligence with us every single year, legitimately. He also called Houston Texans going back-to-back 2-3 with C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson before anybody else. A lot of people said, okay, we're just throwing shit at the wall these days. And then it ended up working out that way, and we forever said, DJ knows.
Knows his shit, yeah.
Schrags does too.
Schrager, yeah. Right before his last mock draft, he releases the week of the draft is typically very spot on. 20 to 30 correct things in there.
Yeah, because he's talking to everybody.
Yeah,
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. And he puts out like day before it.
Yeah, it's right before. It might even be morning of. I forget.
You know what? The draft is a good time, isn't it? So many
Great time.
storylines, especially with these veteran quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers with the Vikings. Holy shit.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Seems crazy, right?
Huh.
Whoa, what was that?
You tell me, Edge. You tell me, bud.
I don't know. Hey, I wish I did. I don't know anything. I don't think anybody knows anything.
You thinking about ice fishing on Minnetonka, huh? With your friend Aaron this year? We shall see.
Getting a big old swordfish like you had, that monster you pulled out.
Hey, man.
You remember.
Thank you. We were all there. It was an honor
At least
to be
6 ounces.
We'll be back on Monday. Great show coming on Monday.
Yeah.
Holy
For
shit.
agency.
Have a phenomenal weekend. Hour 3 will be on the digital version. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye. I think we hit it. I think we hit it.
Yeah, you did.
Masker Week continues. The Tennessee Titans are releasing pass rusher Harold Landry III.
Great player.
Per source. I just saw Connor celebrate, so he's hoping that he goes up to the New England Patriots, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't even have to hope. This is a Vrabel guy through and through. He will be living in New England this year, boys.
That is interesting to think that Vrabel kind of built that place down there at this moment, and they're going through a turnover and a transition into what they want the Callahan team to look like. So a lot of those guys Vrabel knows a lot about.
Oh, yeah.
Everything about.
And Landry's one of those guys to a T. I believe his best years were with Vrabel. I'm not sure if he got his contract during Vrabel's last year. I believe he did. Yeah, I thought he did. He was drafted during the Vrabel era, so it does feel like that is an easy connection.
Over 30 sacks the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
That's like the very similar to how, DK to the Raiders is becoming a thing because of Pete Carroll. This, when he first was granted like his ability to seek a trade, immediately it was a New England situation, but him getting released is even better for the Patriots.
All right, well, hopefully your Patriots get better. But also,
they better.
Maybe somebody else will drive up the price. So that compensation and opportunity thing gets whittled away a little bit. Whittled away.
I don't think that's going to
Put that salary cap back up. Look at how much money the Patriots have.
Crazy.
This is a culture-changing amount of cash in one offseason.
Yeah.
Especially with Vrabel coming in there. $126 million, $125.7 available.
Yeah.
And then you look down at like the Saints, negative $38 million available. So they're going to have to do salary cap gymnastics yet again. This is the annual New Orleans Saints operation. We got to figure out how to become cap compliant. They'll redo contracts. They'll cut people. They'll do. This is New Orleans Saints football. They chew loudly into microphones with their gum, and then they're always behind the 8 ball whenever it comes to the salary cap. That's because they've gone all in a few different times, even though they haven't been able to win. The Bills in that situation. You look at the Falcons, look at the Texans, and then look at the New England Patriots. With a great pick and a lot of money, we got compensation and opportunity, says Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, there's like a real world, because granted the commies have to do the Deebo Samuel deal, and then that might be a little less. There's a world where if T. Higgins were to be available, that the Patriots could pay T. Higgins and still have the most cap space. So it really is one of those things where if you can get over the fact that it is going to have to be this new era turnaround, come here, win some football games versus like right away going into the preseason knowing, you're competing for a Super Bowl. I still think there's a chance because of Vrabel, because of the guys in the pieces, just some of those premier positions, left tackle, pass rusher, wide receiver.
Going to have to get the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be a tough team to catch. We talk about the Chiefs. We talk about the Chiefs for the last few years. Like, can you beat the Chiefs? Mm-hmm. Now the conversation has shifted to, can you beat the Eagles? And it's like, that's what everybody's hoping for. Vrabel has a style of football that might be able to at least keep it close and get a win in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's why I think if you're one of these teams in the NFC who's not in just like a terrible position, like you have to be a spender. You have to go out and try to get like the Packers, like not something they typically do, but they have more money this year than they ever have. Like they should check in on trading for Trey Hendrickson. Like they should try to get DK Metcalf because we know how good the Eagles are. Like you can't just stand pat and expect like, hey, what we did last year is going to be good enough next year when realistically it's probably not going to be.
Trey Hendrickson's coming to the Colts, brother.
Yeah, but he wants to win.
Whoa!
But he loves Lou Anarumo.
Whoa!
He actually was at the Saints when MCDC was at the Saints, so he'll be at the Lions.
Whoa! Colts are just a play away, brother. Remember 2 years ago we almost won the AFC South.
He was at the Saints when Dennis Allen was at the Saints. He might be a Bear.
Lions make sense.
It would be perfect fit.
Let's all.
You're going to put $80 million into him and Hutch? I don't know.
Yes,
winning in the trenches like
that's how it works.
I don't know.
Calvin Shepard would love that. Release the hounds.
O-line, D-line, Howie.
If we can get home with 4, we can just sit like the Eagles do. 7, 14 eyes. Hopefully everybody's, got 2 eyes.
That was the whole thing with the Commanders. Or Brady when the Commanders came out at halftime against the Lions in the playoffs, where he's like, maybe they mix it up. Don't blitz this half. And then first 3 plays, they blitzed every single play.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll wrap up all the storylines of the week, and then we're talking dirt biking.
Yeah!
Supercross. Who's the boss? It's Supercross. Go get lost if you don't like our friends at Supercross.
Is that the theme song?
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na. Supercross.
That's sweet. You guys didn't go jump? You got bikes out there? Didn't go jump somewhere?
I don't know. That's the thing. Imagine if they brought in.
Wait,
yeah, we don't know.
Hey, I was actually thinking where like Zeke and Nick and Bruce Park, that hill, easy, perfect.
Yeah.
jump.
So I used to,
Get some air.
all I want to do is bang. That's all I want to do.
You could actually probably, go over the greens. That'd be a little, yeah.
And then on the other side.
Yeah, and we'll just get those things treated.
We got gravel, though. That's a tough. Gravel is not.
Yeah, but you've seen the tracks out there. They got crushed rock and stuff like that.
Nah, you don't want loose rocks. I don't think
Supercross, they handle it. They
do it all. I mean, definitely handle it. I don't think that's necessarily where you're heading to first. Hey, where's all the loose gravel at? Let me fucking.
Oh, it's tightly packed. It's tightly packed out there. You don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, right. Foxy's been plunking golf balls.
Those rocks are everywhere.
Yeah, they're tight until 250 cc's hit it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Maybe Colt just does it.
Hey, jump the thing.
Go on, do it.
Oh, I think one just pulled up.
Oh, I see him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Maybe turn Jabba around, shoot it right out the front door. I don't know if we're able to get to the front door or not.
Gotta go a little right.
Go on, dance, Jabba. Go on and dance.
Back it up.
Back it up.
That's a good shot.
I think I went the wrong way.
There.
No, pause. Zoom.
Yeah, this is as far over as I can get.
I know. Jabba. Never going to work, Foxy.
What's the track for?
Never going to work.
Here we go.
Yeah, move it a
There
little
you
bit.
go. There you go. I see him. He's coming in.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Colt Nichols.
Oh, it's 4-5.
Oh, the old 4-5, yeah.
The big
bring that thing-
4-5.
Hey, let's off some fumes, boys. Bring those
Good
bucks
number.
into the.
Bruce, hold
Get
on.
Bruce on me.
Bruce,
Bruce
help
can
him.
ride it.
Bruce, ride that
Bruce
thing
is
in.
Supercross. Yeah, come on, Bruce.
Get on it. Get on it, Bruce.
Why don't you bang? That thing, Bruce. Number 45, the Suzuki. All right, that's what next hour is going to look like. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We appreciate Colt Nichols and team stopping by. Take 5.
Bye. We're still bringing it.
Highlight every every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff, and it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some high.
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had, and it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, "Go Irish!" Hoosiers! They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000. The Lord is watching you. Man down. Man down.
That's all right.
$1 million. And there's a bunch of that have been dating.
There's a lot of them.
We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them.
Okay. Google here.
But one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great. Why are they going here?
Just not a fun show? No fun. Serious show? Serious football. Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe. In front of Touchdown Jesus and everybody looking down. IU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you?
No,
it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by 1 million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own 2. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fiction for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell. This guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking, but we appreciate the hell out of you, He has once wiped 100 times.
What? Wiped what?
Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Conktown.
You were the mayor?
Mayor of Conktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Conktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I
hard cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Rocky Top. Well, in that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten.
How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TVs set up, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food.
Arctic temperatures. AJ Hawkins on two moments. Darius Butler from South Florida. He's fucking in for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we It is now.
And off on the count. Travion Henderson in the open field. Travion Henderson is scoring another ton for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Story of the game thus far as Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. First read, second read, third read, scramble, ball on the ground. Check down. Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or a chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now. Will Howard. 101. Check. Jeremiah Smith.
By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat.
Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell.
A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now.
As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Touchdown, Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open. He's got left-handed. 500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it.
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Feel Good Friday, March 7th, 2025, hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports are happening, and that's AJ Hawk. He's a football player. The Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. They're anglers, clearly. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Feel Good Friday, Cowboys.
Bingo.
AP Tone is here. Bailey McComas is on the court, and right now, ladies and gentlemen, we got a 450cc absolute weapon that Colt Nichols flies around. And then the trophy right next to it is the SMX World Championship trophy. It is currently owned by Jet Lawrence. Yeah, Jet on the dirt is a problem. Yeah. And that's what they're racing for. Okay, that's what they're for.
Trophy.
Okay, that's what they're leaning for. That's what they're rocking for. That's what they're jumping for. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking for you're trying to zoom in on the name plate?
Lighting?
Yeah, I was.
That was quite an aggressive move on technology. If that would have worked, I would have been very impressed, especially with the lack of lighting that we have out there and everything. Nonetheless, that's the SMX World Championship. That's what it's all about. This weekend, they have an event down at Lucas Oil Stadium, and shout out to Supercross.
Supercross.
Who's the dirt boss?
Supercross.
Supercross. You don't like it, you can get lost.
Boom.
Supercross. Also in the city, the NBA is happening. The Indiana Pacers, don't look now, they're the team in the entire NBA. Well, maybe except for one particular team. Over the last 10 games, a team in Los Angeles has come alive. A fan base has been awoken, and a GOAT is obviously feeling better than he's ever felt. The LeBron-ish era for the Lakers is very real and very exciting. Just last night, they were down 10 against the New York Knicks, and the fourth quarter was electrifying. Big-time shots from LeBron James. Big-time plays from Luka Doncic. Massive shots from Austin Reeves. And on the other side, Jalen Brunson gets hurt a little bit, but it is still a game that was must-watch. It didn't end until like 1:32 a.m., so a lot of us missed it over here on Eastern time. But just know that this Los Angeles Lakers team, if they're on TV, they're worth a watch right now. Luka Doncic and LeBron James have become a duo that has worked so perfectly together so quickly. I think it has a lot of people wondering why and how can this happen in 2025 in the NBA. I think Luka grew up a massive LeBron James fan. I think LeBron James has always been a massive Luka fan. So when they're put on the team together, you can showcase the respect that they have. LeBron will sit his ass in the corner. Luka will do everything. And now all of a sudden, LeBron is having an opportunity to have wide open threes like he's Ray Allen at 40-some years old. He's already scored 50,000 points the hard way. Now he's going to have an opportunity to do it whenever somebody else is controlling the ball and controlling the defense. They're fun to watch. And I know Charles Barkley doesn't like this particular network talking about this Lakers team, but Luka and LeBron have been magical together. And the way that he exited Dallas made him a must-like player in my eyes in Luka. And this is really good, I think, even though Charles Barkley doesn't like this. And we are friends and appreciate Charles Barkley and everybody over there. It is great for the NBA that this Lakers team is playing phenomenal basketball right now.
Yeah, I love Chuck. And just the trade in general, I feel like the players in the NBA were like, holy shit, because Luka's getting traded. Like, I do kind of have to be a little more personable. Maybe, who knows? That could have been a factor to it because clearly being liked does matter when it comes to both the organization and fans. But yeah, you can tell Luka's jacked. He did the James Harden, get me out of here kind of situation, and now he is a yoked up guy. He
did not do a get me out of here, so he got kicked out.
No. Body transformation, rather. He not the on purpose,
Because James Harden has done that a few times. James Harden is the hammy.
We witnessed it. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm
fat all of a sudden.
And then the next week,
50.
He's dropping 50. I don't mean to get me out of here like that. I more so just mean the body similarities. Luka is already in great shape. Obviously, he's playing out of his mind. The big one is going to be tomorrow night, Lakers Celtics. This is kind of the first massive test for the Lakers, I would say, during the LeBron-ish era. The Celtics are playing very good basketball, as they typically do. And this is a game, I think, for Celtics fans as well to kind of look forward to, just because it's like, hey, the whole Cavs thing, you're up 23-2. That was a tough loss. You kind of let your foot off the pedal now. LeBron, big dog. LeBron, Lakers, Celtics rivalry coming to town. But, yeah, it has worked out for the Lakers. Obviously, the Mavs injuries, it sucks for them. And, Mark Cuban actually – he just did an interview and basically talked a little bit more about it, opened up about it a little bit, and just said, nothing against Anthony Davis, but, if this trade is going to happen, which he said he had no idea was happening, you need to get more. Anthony Davis is a great player, but when you look at his age, when you look at, the injuries he's had, a player like Luka, you'd assume is going for 8 first-round picks, and for them just to get a player in the pick is kind of
asinine. He drank beer, though, and he smoked hookah.
Yeah, which got him to the finals, which we've hammered home.
I couldn't even imagine hookah in L.A. He's probably got some great hookah out there, AJ.
We went to that. We went to a hookah place. Where was it? What D-Butt set us up with?
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah. That was my first experience at one of those hookah spots. It's pretty cool. I understand why Luka goes.
Yeah, good vibes, obviously, at any hookah spot, and obviously the taste and the flavor. And, this guy will just smoke tobacco wraps from the street if you gave it to him. This guy will smoke whatever with his cigars. Get a little hookah in there, enjoy life, have a beer, enjoy the success and all the hard work that you've put in to get to this point. Luka, do it, sue him. Well, Nico said, I'm not going to sue you, I'm going to kick you out of town. And LA's saying, thank you. Places filled up.
It happened quicker. Didn't it happen? The fact that they were playing so well together happened much quicker than I thought could happen.
10-2 since the trade, yeah. And they're now second in the West. They were 7th, I believe, a week ago. Now they're second in the West, 10-2, and nobody wants to play them. So
J.J. Redick.
I think that is a good spot to be. And J.J. Redick was getting crushed, murdered whenever he took that job and how bad they were at the beginning and everything. Now there's like inside clips coming out of him coaching and his strategy and obviously being able to get this team to coexist and work together and all their pieces and their bench is great. It's like Lakers are a real deal. And at halftime, a guy won $100,000 because he made a half-court shot. I like that this is 100 racks, real pressure, real life-changing stuff, as opposed to, like, let's say 19 grand. But what a make out of Cuz MGM. He sold his chest, to MGM for the halftime shot or half-court shot. And congrats to him. Everything's going right for the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
Everything's going right, including halftime shots. Celtics, great. Cavaliers, great. Oklahoma City, great as well, right?
Yeah, those are kind of the top 4.
Pacers.
No, we can go, if we're going great, when we're going top of the league, we're going them 4.
Well, you know who's back?
Who's that?
Just like the Kansas City Chiefs. Just like Kansas City Chiefs, who've had massive success and they hadn't been playing good football all year, even though they've been winning. Whenever the lights get the brightest, they show up. Say hello to Steph Curry in Brooklyn, New York last night. Just vintage Steph Curry bullshit here. Just, second quarter, going into halftime, buzzer beater, and fade away, walk on off, buckets. So, awesome. Draymond Green's got a lot of moxie right now. He's doing a lot, saying a lot. He's not backing down either. He's saying, well, all right, I apologize for that. The Draymond Green show rolls on, though. Just want to.
That's not what I meant.
It's not gonna. Yeah, you know that's not what I meant. Whenever I said it, I did not know that. I was talking about something else. Tease of peace to all parties, but the Draymond Green show rolls on. Jimmy Butler, obviously a weapon for this Golden State Warriors team. Feels like things are kind of shaping up here towards the end of the season, man.
Yeah, they're just like the Pacers, kind of hitting their stride right at the right time, and I guess different in the sense that they got Jimmy Butler, and that made them much better. But yeah, that's another team, another dark horse, just like Indiana, if you will. And then there's still some teams in the middle there. Milwaukee is still, Giannis. No one really talks about them. Small market. That's a conversation for Charles Barkley to have. And then, also the Knicks, of course, who everyone says can't beat a good team. And last night we kind of proved that. But they're still
up 10 in the fourth.
Yeah, they're still hanging around. So we'll see what happens. But if history tells us anything, typically it is kind of the cream at the top that will get the job done. But Dallas was a 5 seed last year, and they made it all the way to the final. So who knows?
Why'd they do that?
Luka Doncic kind of did the entire deed, if you will.
And now he's where?
And now he is with the Lakers.
With
LeBron and Bronny, which I don't know if you're allowed to say.
You're allowed to say Bronny's a professional athlete, obviously.
Okay.
I think you just, maybe if you have interesting scene there.
Yeah, that was the last thing we didn't really touch on that.
Interesting scene there at the end. LeBron coming over, staying on business.
SOB.
So listen, next time I see that guy, I'm going to let him know I do not like the way he is operating. And he certainly did that right after the game. Stephen A. gets announced. He just signed a new deal with ESPN. Congrats, Stephen A.
Oh, yeah.
That has obviously been lingering overhead for a long time. He goes to the game, enjoys it, and, LeBron comes over to him and says, let's not be talking about my kid the same way you've been talking about me for the last 2 decades. How about that? Stephen A. obviously answered this morning. His response, I'll be excited to see how it is received by LeBron and LeBron's squad. We will say this, Rich Paul will be on our show next week.
Nice.
We can't wait to see how that kind of all ends up working out. But obviously in a public place, never want to see this. Hopefully they're able to go shake their hands. But a lot of things have been said. And I know Bron said this is about Bronny, not about me. But I assume with a lot of things that have been said over the years, there's been a lot. So hopefully this is the let's go shake their hands moment between the two, AJ, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough for anybody to read or watch people talk about your kid, let alone if you're on the same team as him and you're still in the same league. It's such a unique situation. Yeah, I get it. I understand. I'd be pissed if people were talking about my kids.
Not only kids, you got to think.
But I get the situation. I understand, bro. It comes with the territory. I get all that, but I understand being a human and reacting.
Yeah, and LeBron saying it's about Bronny, for sure. Okay, it definitely is. But also, there's been a lot of things said about me, in my game and my craft and everything like that over the years, not just by Stephen A., by a lot of people in sports media, comparing him to Michael Jordan, since year 2 or year 3 of
high school.
So I think there's a lot of things potentially that lead into that. And then whenever it goes to his son, he's like, enough. I'm going to, and Stephen A. is obviously the most famous guy in sports media, especially whenever it comes talking day to day and basketball and everything like that. So, hopefully they get past it, and hopefully the conversation and dialogue about LeBron has been able to accomplish throughout his entire career here potentially changes a little bit as well, as opposed to just saying, this guy ain't Jordan. Jordan would chew more gum. This guy ain't chewing any gum. I don't see this guy doing any of that. Oh, Jordan wouldn't have taken a piss during the first half. No. He would have had his bladder under control. Like, that is basically what this guy's entire career has been. So now that he has 50,000 points in the NBA and maybe the best team he's had in a long time right now, maybe there is a little bit more of a, hey, this guy pretty good for a long time, maybe. This guy pretty good at basketball.
Yeah, and all the stuff that people have said, like, you know, that was one big thing Stephen A. was saying, was like, hey, he could have called me and we could have had this conversation man to man. I'm sure LeBron's like, well, you've been saying this on national television so that is calculated. I'm going to go ahead and dress you down in front of all these celebrities and all these people and maybe give you a little taste of what I've been feeling for the last, 2+ decades.
Stephen A. signs an NBA deal and LeBron says, now you're going to get treated like an NBA player.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to go. Hopefully they settle that and figure it out. Two very important people to the sports society, obviously. And congrats to Stephen A. on the new deal. I know that's been talked about for a long, long time. Our names. Now, granted, when I sign a deal, it's for like a 15-person company, which that kind of gets lost in the conversation a lot, But like my name was getting projected into his negotiations a lot by a lot of people. And I just wanted Stephen A. to feel as if he got what he has deserved. The guy works his ass off. He's on TV all the time. He's been doing ESPN stuff for, 13 years now? 14 years full time. So I'm happy to see he got paid. That's good news for all parties. And congratulations to Stephen A. And he says he's not running for president.
Okay.
So he's sticking with sports there for a bit.
For now.
Sticking with sports.
Not now.
He's been doing politics, though. He's been dabbling over there.
Oh, yeah.
Every night there's a new clip of Stephen A. just cooking some politic conversation. And it's like, yeah, this dude's been doing debating and talking for a while now. He has been joust. They say 10,000 hours makes you great. It's like Stephen A. has 10,000 hours of debating.
Yeah.
And, and if that's interesting. That feels like a pretty, I'm not going to say it.
What?
The political world, anything you say in the political world does massive numbers, like it is because people very genuinely care. But a lot of the people that are doing and once again, I don't pay attention close enough. I don't feel like there's a lot of good talkers over there. So Stephen A. having a passion and also having an incredible ability at what he does and obviously intelligence to be able to understand all that shit, which I am nowhere near. But then his ability to speak is...
Yeah. In real time, on camera, like when stuff is brought up that you may not be super informed on, like be able to do that is... Yeah, the people that are great at it, they make it look easy.
Yeah, and sports people, I think, are good at it because kind of have to. That's kind of what the whole entire model is. So, like, Stephen A. potentially dabbling over there. I've only seen a few clips of him and people, and it's like, oh, they have no idea. They have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. And if they counter, he's going to have a counter. Uh-huh. I mean, this is not just a, oh, yeah, you're right type situation. It's like, let me explain to you why you were wrong, and then a great promo, and then just kind of leave it at their desk. And it's like, I don't know if any of these people expect that to be coming back from Stephen A. It's like it might be a whole new world over there in political commentary if Stephen A. takes his talents over there, which it seems like he's dabbling. But at least we know ESPN's going to have him for 5 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Congrats to him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to talk about something that we don't know a lot about, but hopefully we'll learn. Mm-hmm. This weekend, a massive event is happening at Lucas Oil Stadium. There's an annual event that always brings a ton of people to downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who's won twice here in Indianapolis, Supercross legend, races for the Suzuki team. He's a former 450cc Rookie of the Year, ladies and gentlemen, Colt Nichols. Hey, Colt! Out of Oklahoma. This guy's from Oklahoma.
Boomer.
If you can feel it,
you can chase it.
Pleasure's all mine.
How we doing?
How's it going, man?
Pleasure.
Oh, you got the Tyrese Halliburton's on. Oh, no.
As long as it wasn't.
Oh,
He knocked over Lisa. He broke Lisa. Oh, no. Lisa Bluter? What the fuck, man?
That's not a good start. That's not a good start, Colt.
At least it wasn't Earnhardt.
Oh my God.
Tell Lisa that.
Oh my God. You're going to have to give him your back.
Colt.
Let's see it, Ty. Your head come off?
No, the feet.
The goddamn legs broke off.
She got no feet.
Yeah, it was
LeVar Ball.
That is my bad. That's a party foul. That's my bad. I apologize.
It is your bad.
It's 100% my bad.
But we'll move past it. Well, you got a big weekend. I don't want you thinking about this when you're, riding your bike.
Fair enough.
Oh, no.
Whoa, what a catch by Con Man.
Thank you. That was out of emotion.
He caught Lisa Bluter's torso and her head over there. I'll tell you, it was done because you wanted to show respect.
Yeah. That's all it was. Yeah.
Sure.
That's all it was.
You wanted to show respect to Ty.
Yeah, it had to be done.
We got some super glue, too. We'll be able to put her legs back on. We'll get Chris Angel in here. He'll be able to put those legs right back on Lisa Bluter. Don't you think about any of that. Colt, how old are you?
I am 30.
Okay.
We're getting old, dude. We're getting old for our sport.
Okay, what is average age of...
Actually, it's getting older. Like, now top guys are going till 30, 35 range. It used to be like, late 20s. Now
physically demanding, right?
Very. I mean, it's a really, really tough sport. We get injured a lot, hit the ground, it hurts. That's what makes guys retire early. But a lot of guys make enough money and be able to retire by the time they're 30. So.
Love that you're able to turn something you love into a full-time profession. You're two-time Indianapolis. What? Just Indianapolis?
Yeah. At the time, I was racing the 250 class. Now I'm in the 450. Won here twice in 2021. Almost had the third one. Crashed out on the first lap. Tumble, big explosion type deal. But yeah, love this place. Good vibes here. Love this place.
Big explosion. Is that are all tracks similar? They all have the same shit in it, just different designs?
Yeah, same obstacles, whoops, triple, finish, all this kind of stuff, just configured all differently. The dirt's different every weekend. Like Indy's notorious for like softer, really ruddy conditions. Some of the tracks really hard packed, so it just depends on where you go. But this place is something special.
So you're a rudder. You enjoy the thick mud.
Oh yeah, I love that.
How come it's like it's a damper? It's more damp, or why is it?
I don't know. I don't know if the dirt's frozen from outside. It rains a lot. They store the dirt usually some places it's outside. And this place just ruts up a lot. It's like what it's known for, but it's awesome. I love it.
Okay, so the out to shoot is the big deal, right?
Like, big deal. You got 22 guys lined up. We're all going into the first turn, and everybody there thinks they're going to get there first. So it's just chaos most of the time.
Surviving first lap, big deal.
Yeah, big deal.
First turn, I guess.
Yeah, you just got to position yourself good. That's literally half the race. Getting out of the gate good, putting yourself in a good spot, and then after that, trying to make moves.
How many laps do we have?
We got 20 minutes. 450 class, 250 class is 15 minutes plus one lap. 450 is 20 minute plus one. So it's demanding. Like your heart rate's probably 185 the whole time, kind of peaking right there. And it just gets really, really hard. You're up and down a lot, standing, sitting, pulling, pushing. It's tough, man.
So Buffalo Wild Wings went from like 12 wings to like a pound of wings or something like that. You could get like anywhere from 8 to like 13 or whatever.
It's one of those. Yeah.
20 minutes
not
is the same thing.
Anymore. It used to just be 20 laps, 15 laps. Now it's 20 minutes. They just wanted the racing to be a little longer. Some of the tracks are high 40 seconds, low 50s. So the racing was done really quickly. So they're like, we want to have these guys out there, the premier guys out there for 20 minutes so everyone could see a show for at least 20 minutes.
What's the week look like? You got practice leading into the weekend?
We got practice.
Qualies? When are qualies?
No, we usually fly in Friday. We start in the morning with a untimed practice, so you can just go out there, learn the track, see how it's all pieced together.
Kind of bop around.
Yeah, sure, pretty much. And then we have 2 time sessions after that. That depicts like your gate pick for the night program.
Where do you want to be? Inside?
Typically, you want to be closer to the box or inside. There's usually there's a starting house, 12 gates, or 11 and 11. Depends on how long or short the start is. The strategy will change, on where you want to be. But you want to get a good practice time so you can pick the best gate. They usually have these big ruts coming out of the front of them, and they're all jacked up. So you want to pick the best one, and you can only do that by getting a good gate pick.
Okay, so that's what the qualies are for.
Yeah.
And then when are the finals? Yeah. Sunday?
No, all Saturday night. So we get done qualifying, you have a little break, you get out of your gear, usually sign autographs, meet the fans, do stuff like that.
A lot of fans, by the way. I think that was a big, I don't want to say surprise, no offense. I did not grow up in a dirt bike community, but out here racing is king, obviously, in Indianapolis and Indiana. I think the first time you guys came to town, I did not expect the amount of human traffic in this. There's a lot of people come to town.
I mean, we'll sell out Lucas Oil Stadium, and every stadium that we go to pretty much sellouts, 40, 50,000 people every night. TV packages have grown, like, the Peacock deal that we signed for Supercross is huge. And honestly, just the amount of money. Like the guy that pretty much won everything last year is the kid on screen, Jet Lawrence.
Jet Lawrence, he's the SMX world champ.
Yeah, SMX world champ. I mean, that dude made anywhere from $8-10 million last year. It's a big money deal, if you're winning races and doing good.
So I don't know. You're from Oklahoma, so
yes, sir.
I'm not 100% sure if you're a country fuck. Can you move that mic a little bit? But country fucks love the dirt bikes.
Oh, we absolutely love it. We dig it.
That is the people that I know.
Oh, we love it.
I've had an opportunity now to meet a lot of people with football and sports and traveling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always rode, heavy bikes. Okay,
you're hopping on a Harley.
Indian and Harley, heavy box. We got hydraulics whenever that thing parks. It goes on down there.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys? You kind of start with dirt bikes as like kids. It sounds like in ATVs,
yeah.
right?
I mean, you start on like a PW50, which is made by Yamaha. It's pretty much the bike that everyone started on. It's the smallest bike they make. Everyone started at 3-4 years old probably. We start from there, then you start going to local races, then you go to these bigger amateur events that they have scattered throughout the country and try to get sponsors and things like that. And it just grows and grows and grows, and eventually you can turn pro at, I want to say 18 years old now. You can turn pro. It used to be 16, now it's 18. And then as soon as you do that, I mean, there's a lot of kids now that'll sign contracts at 13, 14 years old, and they're making 100, 200 grand a year, as a 13, 14-year-old kid. So
a lot of that's going into the bike, though, right? Because you guys have to build your own bikes and shit?
Depends. Like some of those kids, all that's taken care of. The bike stuff, it's taken care of from the team. This is pretty much money to go all over the country.
Stay committed.
Yeah, go all over the country. Most of these kids go to training facilities. They'll probably go homeschooled, and they live at a training facility full time. All they do is train, like dirt bikes all day, every day.
That's awesome. $8 to $10 million is available. At the end of the road.
Yeah, so that's like the goal. I mean, the guy that's winning everything now, they're from Australia. They're not even from the States. They had like this big move over here, all to chase the dream to race Supercross and be a Supercross champion. So it is. It's a crazy sport. It's exciting. Like we're in a really, really good time period for our sport. It's growing like crazy. Like I said, selling out stadiums, big TV packages, and the racing is just insane. It's a lottery on who's going to be at the top step of the podium every weekend. So it is just, man, it's a really, really good time to be a fan of our sport.
Okay, so you said Australia there. How many other countries are really into dirt biking? In my head, I'm trying to think of like country places.
Oh, America number one.
Yeah, hey,
don't forget it.
Hell yeah. Canada don't even got dirt bikes. Ain't that right?
But the guy that is winning everything right now, he is Australian. We have a rider from Japan, a rider from Germany. There's guys all over, but they all come here to race Supercross. Supercross is by far the premier thing. It's for you guys, NFL, top tier. For dirt bikes, Supercross is it. So.
Okay, so what's the furthest jump we're doing in any given race? Is there like a certain track that is known for having a massive jump, or are they all pretty much regulated?
More on the outdoor circuit. Like outdoor circuit is all tracks that have been there for years, kind of carved out through the grass. They got hills, a bunch of stuff. There's like huge jumps where we're jumping, 130, 140 feet. And Supercross, it's all regulated. So
not with a heavy bike. You're jumping with the dirt bike.
Yes, this guy right here.
Yeah, that 450
cc. That 450, that thing will bark. It can take off on you. You got to be careful with it. But Supercross, Supercross all regulated. All the Supercross triples are 65 feet. The finishes are usually, 50, 60 feet. They're all usually somewhat the same. Just so that whenever you build your track at home or wherever you train at, you know how to build it. So it's all kind of to spec.
Being regulated seems smart. It feels like a smart.
For inside the stadium, it's a good move.
Especially for making $8 to $10 million. This feels like a
a
blossoming professional avenue for a lot of people. Go ahead, Con Man.
So how are the vibes like on tour? Like, does everybody hate the Jet guy because he is winning everything and he's Australian, or
have to get along, right?
Yeah. Like, are you flying in just on Fridays? Like, do you have a lot of time with the other people racing? Like, how does that work when it comes to everybody who's racing?
Yeah, so. Like, some guys will train together during the week. Like we stay at some of the facilities. Some of us will train together, ride together during the week. Most of the time, though, everyone tries to do everything separate because you don't want to give away any of your secrets, any stuff like that. But when we show up on the weekends, we usually fly in Thursday, fly in Friday. It depends on if we have press or stuff to do on Friday. But yeah, for the most part, you have like your rivalries like you would in any other sport. Like this guy hates that guy, or that team hates that team, like in football. You definitely have that. But for the most part, we all have like a really big respect for each other because this sport's tough, dude. It's hard. As soon as you got it figured out, you end up crash, get hurt, then you're knocked out for the whole season. Like Jet Lawrence, he just tore his ACL a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Out for the whole season. One more spot.
We're not looking for that.
For
competitors.
Come on. Yeah, get up there.
Yeah, we're obviously T's and P's to an Australian
Shout
ACL.
out Jet. Yeah, love Australia.
Now, Jet, honestly, is a really good dude. I was teammates with him a few years ago. Good kid. He's so young, and he's kind of taken the sport by storm just because he's so young. He's came in and done some incredible things at a really, really young age. That's not normal. Normally it takes guys 5-6 years to get into it, and he did it first year out. He was a 450 champ his very first try. That's kind of incredible. He's a badass. Like he's a sick kid. A lot of us though. All of us, we've been doing this for a long time. A lot of respect. But yeah, you definitely got the rivalries. You got your beef. On the weekends, guys taking each other out, and then you're pissed off. But
you guys all know each other, right? Because you've been racing throughout your entire life. I feel like with like the car racers or the IndyCar racers, they were go-karts against each other. They kind of like know each other. Indy Lights, they came up against each other. You guys probably similar, right?
Oh, same exact thing. I've been racing the same guys that I'm still racing now in the 450 class. I started racing them when I was 10. So you know your tendencies about some guys, like you know who they are, what they are, because you've been racing for so long.
What's
so
your
that's what makes our
style?
sport
What
cool.
would they say your style is?
Probably a little more finesse, I guess you would say. I don't really know how to describe
You're
it.
reading.
Yeah, trying to.
Skill.
A lot of guys, like you would
Technical.
describe, as like they just are on edge all the time. Like you never know if it's going to be good or bad. It looks really sketchy while they're doing it. Some guys are really calculated, and honestly, it's poetry in motion though what we do, because it is like there's a million lines everywhere. The bikes are so fast, and it's just all so calculated. Just like anything else, though. The more reps you do, the better you get. But our sport is, like I said, it's insane. I hope you guys can come out tomorrow, because it's going to be a hell of
A couple years ago, we were going to go. It was on St. Patrick's Day, too. We all got too hammered.
Oh, yeah.
That'll happen.
We're never gonna make it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, I was talking to Sean Brennan. I believe he's your PR guy.
Yep.
It was a great text conversation because we were downtown. We came downtown to go to the Supercross thing.
Yep.
And then it happened. The showcase is amazing. I mean,
yeah.
What a spectacle you guys
Oh, yeah.
are piecing together, which is fantastic, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
part of that TV deal and I assume licensing deal and everything like that. But we came downtown to do St. Patrick's Day to end up at the Supercross, and then
didn't make it.
One thing led to another.
I get that.
Had to
That
get home.
happens.
Had to get home. Had to get home.
Don't know
It was
how.
A little bit too old. No, no, I took an Uber home. It was a 2-hour ride, and I was also very, very confused. But you guys, and we just showed it there, a little bumping and rubbing is racing.
That'll piss you off when that stuff happens.
When you
That's
get-
what gets the rivalries going. You know, fans love it though.
When you
Fans
get
love
low cut.
Oh yeah.
Low bridge.
Yeah, you get hit right in the leg. Just barely tap the front wheel. That'll make you fall down. Then you're pissed, and you got to come back, try to catch everybody again.
Ooh.
Makes it chaos. So
What was it, last year or 2 years ago? We saw that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Was that last year? I think it was last year.
It might have been, yeah.
Maybe we saw the video last year. Somebody went full.
Been there, done that. It ain't fun. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, so you've done that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Full
Yeah,
speed. We're talking lose control
Oh,
completely.
yeah. I've broken myself off way too many times. I mean, like most of us, I mean, we've had, just myself, shoulder, knee, hip, femur, humerus, wrists, arms.
Jeez, femur.
I mean, like an orthopedic surgeon's dream. I mean, some guys, that's kind of like the hard part of our sport is literally just staying healthy. That's like the hardest part is being there every single weekend. The guys that can do that usually are, just a lot of steps ahead. Because then you get hurt, you miss races, you miss training, you're that much further behind. That's like, it's a really, really hard thing to do. And it's tough to keep getting back on that horse.
All right, who's taping Colt up this week?
Yeah, literally. I'm about to take my shoulder up this weekend. It's a little dinged up, but that's all right.
Where are we in the season right now?
We're I think this is round 8 in the season. Either round 8 or 9. I keep losing track of where we are. So we have 17 rounds total.
Okay, we're mid-season right now.
Yeah, mid-season form, trying to get ourselves going a little bit. Then as soon as this ends, we have 1 weekend off, and then we go to the outdoor circuit that I was talking about earlier. That's spread out all through the country as well. There's 11 races in that. And that's considered like our regular season. As soon as that's over, 2-week break, and then we're into the playoffs, SMX playoffs. It's essentially the same thing as football. So we'll start out as like, normally it's all the same as far as like your point system on how it works. As soon as you get to the playoffs, the first round is the same, standard points. The second round's double points. Third round is triple points. And then at the end, $1 million is up for grabs on whoever wins the SMX title.
Oh, shit.
Just for those 3 races, $1
Pre-tax?
million just for that one.
Pre-tax?
Pre-tax. Real bummer.
$650,000, $630,000 is up.
God, they're really cutting us on that.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Everybody. AJ has a question for you in Ohio.
What you got?
Yeah, Colt, I believe, speaking of injuries, I believe a couple years ago you broke both of your arms at the same time. I'm curious what it was
was that
like
you?
That was me.
Yeah, how do you handle what did the cast look like and how did you operate day to day?
Bad situation, let me tell you that. Also, big fan.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that. But it was not good. We were double cast. I couldn't even wipe my own ass. It was a whole ordeal.
Who did it?
Luckily, I had a girlfriend at the time, or still do, same girlfriend. She was handling it for me. The real wifey stuff.
God bless her.
Yeah, she was handling it.
Yeah, God bless her.
Yeah, God bless her soul. But that one was tough. I had to end up having the wrist redone again because it was all messed up from the first surgery. That was like a 5.5, 6 month rehab. And then as soon as you're done with that, you're just trying to get back on the bike as quick as you possibly can. But same thing as you guys, like we're trying to figure out ways, hyperbaric chambers and CVAC and cold plunges and everything that we can do to get the body ready to go again. And that's where our sport's kind of taken off from the athletic side. Recovery, everything like that is getting pretty advanced with what we're doing. But that one was tough. That was a really hard injury to come back from. But yet here we are.
Did you have this one? Is this what the cast looked like? Were you literally
I was stuck like this. Luckily, this one was just here to the elbow. I think actually both of them were here to the elbow, but I was stuck. Couldn't do nothing. It was terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a bad deal.
But you're a tough guy.
And think about your girlfriend wasn't around. What if she wasn't around or you had to,
Yeah,
what do you do? You got to pull someone off the street? What do you do?
Not wiping. What do you mean?
I mean, it would have been a bad deal. We have a bidet installed in the house. That was a help.
Smart.
But still, it was going to be a bad deal either way. It was going to be a bad
but
deal.
you got to dry off the bidet too, because if not, you're just walking around with moist
you got a
cheeks.
wet
butt.
Yeah, that's not good either.
that ain't good. I'll
You
take
would have been
that, though.
shit out of luck.
Yeah, I'll take that over the alternative. That's for damn sure. But
Of
yeah,
no
it was,
wiping. Of no
it was a
wiping.
bad deal. Yeah, luckily she was there. She saved me, and we ended up getting through it, so it was good.
Thank you, lady. God bless her.
Yeah,
God bless her.
Why didn't you just tell us that was your crash that we saw? You said been there, done that. That's definitely the crash that we watched.
Well, I don't know. There's been a few big ones over the years.
Nah,
Mine was not good, but
broken both arms. Yeah, I'm assuming that's the one that cracked into our algorithm.
it could have. Yeah, it certainly could.
Hey, look
That
at
one
this
was
dirt bike racer, supercross guy. He broke both of his arms on this, and then the follow up is as soon as he could, he got right back on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have an intense love for what we do. Maybe it's a little bit of stupidity as well. I'm not sure. Because most people would be like, "Nah, I'm not doing that no more." But same thing. I mean, I broke my leg when I was 6, and as soon as I could ride again, I was riding again. So I'm like, I don't know why that is, but
That's the difference. That's a separator, brother.
it. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
talent and a trait, not a bad thing. Ty has a question for you.
You talked about this
Yeah.
kind of being like a young man's game and how you're getting a little bit older. At what point are you in like the prime of your career, and like how long will you be able? Because now we're seeing football players like play until they're 43, 45. Obviously, that's an exception. It's not the rule.
Yeah.
But like, when are you in your prime, and how much longer do you think you'll be able to do this? And is there anything else over here that you'd like to throw on the ground?
I'm gonna have to go look at that desk a little bit more on the side here, but I hope not, honestly. But honestly, for us, I'm not sure, dude. As far as how long we can go, like I said, I think it's just advancements of how we recover, how we can come back from injuries. That's kind of changing the game and making it to where it's kind of like football. Guys are just going longer, like you can, because you can take care of yourself better and perform better and for longer at a higher level. So the guy that's won a lot of titles in our sport, he just got hurt too, right around the time that Jet did. He's 32, and he's still winning races, and that's been unheard of, 10 years ago. So I hope I could go another like 3 to 4 years if I could. That would be cool. But I would say your prime for our sport is honestly anywhere from 24 to 30. Like there's been guys that just do it at different times, but that was usually like the rule of thumb. Like there's been a lot of guys that never even won races, and to win past 30 was like literally unheard of until the past like 3 years.
Who's GOAT?
Who's GOAT?
Ricky Carmichael.
The king is Jeremy McGrath. He was my idol when I was younger. He won 72 Supercross races. He's just a legend. But Ricky Carmichael's the GOAT. For sure.
Yeah, Pastrana was in this one.
I thought Pastrana was in
Wasn't he a
this too,
Supercross
yeah.
guy?
Oh, Pastrana was. Like, he won an outdoor title whenever he was super young, but he was too busy going here
And doing everything.
He was literally doing everything.
Yeah,
he was a damn good talent, but he just didn't have enough of, like, I'm doing this only.
Do you have the flip into the?
Hell no. No.
We're not going upside down.
We're working on speed only. I'm not trying to flip myself off or do anything.
How come? Are you going through the checker line? You're in
About
the
to
lead.
win.
There's that big jump. Go ahead and take that son bitch.
I mean, if you won and did a black flip as you're winning, you would be, that'd be some legendary shit. Pastrana did that at a Supercross years ago, back in like 2009 in practice. He did a flip over the finish, and it was like the craziest thing we'd ever seen. But
so you guys aren't the flippers at all?
No. No flips, no tricks. We're just working on speed only. Like, how can you go from checkered to checkered faster than the other guy?
Tone has a question for you, Cole.
Yeah, you won the 250 back in 2021, I believe, and now you're doing 450. So it's like 250. Is that like a minor league? And then are the more talented racers going up to 450, or how does that work?
I wouldn't say minor league or talent or anything. It's all usually just age. Like the 250 class is strictly, not all the time, but usually that's where you start. Everybody that's gone through the professional ranks, you ride 250 first. Guys graduate and go to the 450 class at different times, but it's always 250 first. So for me, I raced 250 class for, I want to say 6, 7 years. Some guys it's 2 years. Some guys it's 5. It just depends on when you want to move up. And our rules are changing where guys are staying longer and things are different. But same thing, like there's some guys that are like, why would I move up to the 450 class when I can stay in the 250 class? The competition's not quite as fierce and I'm making 6 figures still. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
So it just depends. Every guy's journey is a little bit different. For me, once you win a championship, you can defend the next year, and then as soon as you defend, you're out no matter what. So as soon as you win, you got 1 year, then you're gone, whether you want to stay or not. So That's what was tough for me in 2022. That was my year to defend. And then I crashed, broke both my arms. I'm like, fuck. Back to the couch for a little bit. So that was a bummer. I really wanted to defend that year and show those guys that, I earned that championship the year before, but didn't get a chance to do it. So that was a bummer. But, into the 450 class now.
My first bike was a Titan Chopper 1700cc.
Damn, talk to him. Let's go. Let's go.
Got off the side of the road. Had a lot of juice. Had a lot of pizzazz. Top end speed was up there. Only did it one time and thought to myself, we should not go that fast ever again without it. What is top end speed for the 450cc and then the 250cc? What's the biggest difference?
I mean, they're probably pretty close. 450 weight, it's a lot heavier, a lot more torque. Obviously 200 more cc's, and it's got more bang for your buck on that thing. But top speed is hard because we don't really ever just like straight line take off. But you're probably, I don't know, if you wanted to go 60, 70 probably down the road, you could. But for us, you're never really hitting that. Outdoors, you will, because like I said, those tracks are so spread out and big.
So you're wide open. There's a long straightaway.
You'll go wide open a lot in outdoors. But Supercross, it's so methodical, and you're kind of just hopping and jumping around the track, and a lot of obstacles. Like Supercross, there's just a lot of obstacles. Outdoors, it's more natural, rolling hills everywhere. But Supercross, it's pretty tight. We're confined.
Is that your steel pony right there?
That's my steel pony right there. We're set up for we got the St. Jude graphics on for this weekend. Pretty cool thing Supercross does with St. Jude every year. So it's pretty cool getting to do this and change the bikes up. They usually don't look like that for the weekends, but
How many bikes do you have? How many will you have for the weekend?
For the weekend, we just have 2. You have this one.
They're fickle, right? I've heard dirt bikes are very fickle.
Yeah, very fickle. But then everyone will have a backup bike at the truck just in case something crazy happens. You got to switch out real quick. But the mechanic, they're on top of it. Something happens, something crazy from race to race, they're able to change it and get it going. And that'll be my one bike I'll ride all weekend.
Well, good luck.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I think gold rims, how many twisted T all big on the side. Damn thing looks good.
Yeah, good.
Gorgeous.
Look at you.
Trying.
Yeah, we saw Twisted T, St. Jude's. Who are the big sponsors for Supercross?
For Supercross this year, it's
Monster Energy.
Yeah, Monster's the biggest one, I would say. But they're just every year it seems like they gain more and more and more. This team in general is the title sponsor: Twisted T, Progressive Insurance, X-Star, and a bunch of stuff involved in moto. A bunch of other moto sponsors that tires, pipes, stuff for the engine, bars, everything like that. So it's pretty head to toe.
I'm not gonna ride that one, right? Is there other bikes out there? Have you
get on that damn thing? I'll start it up.
Come on.
Take off, right?
I don't know.
Come on
if I'm
now.
in here. I don't want to huff any of that.
Oh, we got it.
But I would like to ride. I would like to ride a dirt bike.
I see a lot of bikes out there.
Is it? Yeah, is there? They've brought a crew,
I
right?
see 2.
Yeah, they've got this one, and then the backup bike
3.
is outside. We got 2. Any other takers? We hop on this damn thing.
Well, we need you to go do your thing on it.
Right,
don't break your arms here. I don't want to fucking.
Hey, we can just rip around the parking lot. We'll do a quick
Watch
little
out,
circle and come back.
There's poles, there's light poles.
If I was to bring you my dirt bike that I got for Christmas 3 years ago that was never able to be turned on, you guys be able to fix that?
I'm sure. I'll give it to my mechanic, Joe. He's in there right now. I'll probably get that thing fixed up.
Joe seemed to, all right, we'll start. Yeah, it's down the street here. We'll actually bring that over. Joe seemed to be thrilled to be here. Is he the one with the big beard?
Joe has the beard. Yeah, he was very, very excited. All of us were excited. Honestly,
no, Joe was not excited. Complete opposite.
No?
Joe was here to work. Joe was out
yeah.
get this fucking bike on this goddamn thing. Yeah, he was.
He's a workhorse.
He was locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good beard. He was locked in this entire thing.
Yeah, well, he said it was a little bit last minute. I had no idea. I'm prepping the bike, getting everything ready, and they told me we got to load it up and take it up there. He was like, it's great. It was awesome, but man, it was so stressful. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I was sprinting through the airport this morning because my plane got delayed, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I got to go. I got to get there.
Well, thank you for making it happen, both you and Joe. We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we made it happen. It was awesome. I was very excited. This is an honor to be here with you boys. I'll be honest. It's really cool. Really, really cool.
We don't know any dirt bikers. That's the thing. I've never encountered a professional dirt biker in my life.
First for everything. I am just blessed.
How's the culture? Culture's good culture? You guys got good
Honestly,
lads?
incredible. Yeah, incredible, man. Everything about it. Like I said, the sport in general is growing a lot. What we do is I think it's the greatest sport in the world. It's just awesome. Like every weekend, you never know what's going to happen, and that's what makes it so fun.
Did you play any other sports?
Yeah, I played basketball in high school.
Were you pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah, koozie?
No.
Whoa.
Hey, calm down.
Yeah. No one is koozie. Okay. No one's koozie. Easy.
All right, cool. We appreciate it. How tall? What's the tallest, biggest rider? Probably small,
Tallest
right?
rider?
You got to be smaller.
You got to be usually kind of small. Like my size is very average. There's a guy that's probably like 6'5", 6'6".
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
He's a unit. Yeah, he's a big boy.
That's very bad for him, though, right? Isn't it?
In some ways, like he's got more leverage. That's good sometimes, but sometimes it can be bad. It depends on the situation.
He's heavier on the back.
Oh, yeah.
So more weight is slower.
Making it a heavy
Hey, you got to be light. Power to weight ratio, man. That'll help you. No doubt.
Goddamn
like
right.
a jockey.
The cut of this guy's jib.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He
Even though
busted down
my
Bluter.
shit.
Yeah.
But I like.
Well, she's retired, so
Won us over.
What part of
he did.
Oklahoma? What part of Oklahoma?
Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Where's
So it's
that?
closer to the Arkansas side, right off I-40.
Nice. Do you pay attention to other sports?
Oh, yeah. Big Thunder fan. How could I not be?
Okay.
One in
Hey,
the
they're
West.
rolling right
There you
now.
go.
One in the West. We're chilling. We are chilling. I'm very excited. SGA is just like, I'm a huge fan. I think he's awesome. He's just balling. He's MVP this year, no doubt.
Yeah, well, SGA's name is actually MVP.
Now we're talking.
That's Michael Greenberg. That's not
Now
me.
we're
I
talking.
cannot take credit for that. That is Greeny.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the other day. All right, Colt. Well, good luck this weekend. Good luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you guys
Thank
so
you for
much.
stopping by and making us much smarter in this entire thing.
Oh, hell.
We'll pay attention to the clips and we'll watch. It's on Peacock?
Peacock. Yep. Live on
Perfect.
Peacock every Saturday.
Okay, we will watch that. And I can't wait to hop on one of these bad boys
Hell yeah.
outside. It's cold out there, huh? Is it cold?
you might need a hoodie or something.
Yeah. He'll be
You
all
guys
right.
wear gloves out there, right?
Oh, we're full geared up, no doubt. Gloves, helmet, goggles, jersey, pants, boots, the whole
Wear a
nine.
cup.
Shoulder pads.
No cup. It's the one thing that'll get you. No shoulder pads, but usually like an under protector or something like that.
Well, no
That's about
cup.
it.
You just want to let the balls.
How good was Robbie Knievel?
My boy Robbie Knievel could jump some jumps. You know what I mean?
He jumped. They were jumping heavy bikes, right?
Heavy bikes.
He could jump
Heavy
jumps.
bikes.
He's jumping heavy bikes.
Question age.
That's awesome.
He would jump a
That's what I'm saying. Heavy bikes. So like Evil Knievel and Robbie, they're jumping heavy bikes, right?
He's
Like
literally
that's
jumping.
unheard of
He's
now.
jumping a Harley. You know what I mean? Like that's not meant to be jumped. That's not what you want to do. Like ours
What
aren't
is
meant
he
to be
just
jumped.
strong or is he crazy? What is he? How would Evil and Robbie able to do that?
Honestly, both. Yeah, I think he's just nuts. I would never try to jump a Harley over a bus. That ain't
No.
Robbie Knievel's a dog.
Yeah.
absolute dog.
Yeah.
People forget about Robbie. I try to remind them. They don't even think about Evil. They think about
Everybody
Robbie
thinks
as
about
well,
the evil. They don't ever think about Bob.
Nope.
Come on, man.
Here's Robbie Knievel jumping over the Grand Canyon. No problem.
Yeah.
That looks like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
Light work.
That's a
Oh my God, he
small
got
jump.
two Grand Canyons.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no, Robbie
hey.
segment. That's possible. That's possible.
Jeez.
Got it
That is
done.
possible.
Hey, that's Knievel football right there.
Hey, see, that's more of a proper. That's got suspension. That's a proper like bike back in the day to do this with. Now, Evil Knievel, no suspension, an animal. Like he was jumping. Like I'm gonna break myself off, no doubt about it. I don't give a shit. That was his attitude. I think.
Robbie
That's
Knievel.
impressive.
Robbie
brakes,
Knievel was
brother.
like,
Yeah,
he didn't have any. He didn't want any
They should
ability
have
to turn
all
That's what
back.
hay bales are for. What are you talking?
Todd Hansen said Robbie could have hit the brakes. He chose not to. Hit a
Yeah.
couple bumps. What'd you call them? Whoops? Whoopsie
Yeah,
whoops?
yeah, whoops.
Whoopty whoops.
Yeah, those are just Supercross only. So there'll be a stack of 9 or 11 whoops. They're just
section.
spaced out different.
And that's the
every
thing you're
weekend.
doing. The bop,
Yeah.
bop,
Bang,
bop,
bang,
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 bang.
bang. Oh yeah.
All right, so let's pull up this is the track, I believe, for Lucas Oil Stadium that has been on this graphic here in front of me.
There it is. Yep.
This is
Now
the
we're
track.
cooking.
Okay, so what do we work? Those quick whoop-de-woos there in the middle, that's the one that's going to be the most difficult?
Yeah, probably so every weekend. That's usually the most challenging. That'll catch the most guys off. They're just hard. It's a hard obstacle for Supercross, but like I said, really wide, long start going into the
You ever
first
get
turn.
lost? Because there's so many different ways you could go. Is that why the practice is obviously so...
Nah, not necessarily lost, but every now and then you'll come around thinking you're, hit a jump that's blind. You're like, yeah, I'm supposed to go left. Nope, it's right. So you kind of forget sometimes. But for the most part, we do so many laps that it's so easy. You have it down like science.
What's the average lap time here in Indianapolis?
We're probably closer to 50 seconds, a little under a minute, 50 seconds, somewhere right there.
Ooh.
But the track will deteriorate so much, the lap times will go up, and it'll get more difficult to go around the track the same speed. It slows down just a little bit as you go.
And then whenever there's an accident, yellow flag?
Yellow flag, you can usually still race. You can still jump the jumps on a yellow. Red cross flag comes out. That means somebody pulled a Robbie Knievel. They're down bad.
Yeah, he actually broke his leg and a lung there, or punctured a lung.
Nice. Yeah, he did not do good. So
Made
as soon as
the
you see a
jump.
red cross flag, you're rolling. You got to roll the obstacle. Can't jump it. You can't race, so you can't pass anybody.
Do they stop the clock, the 20 minutes?
No, it doesn't stop the clock. But if they pull out a red flag, that's whenever you stop the clock. The race either restarts completely, you do a staggered start, or the race is over, depending on where you're at in the race.
So we're going to have 20 minutes of racing.
Oh, we're gonna have 20 hard, tough minutes of racing.
Let's go.
It's gonna be sick.
Who's got to watch? Who's got to watch?
That I don't know. Guy sitting in the probably the flagger that's sitting there. As soon as the gate drops, time goes and we take off.
Can you see a clock as you're going around the?
There's usually a big scoring thing, and it usually has just the top 5 riders, and it usually has a clock there, so you can kind of see the time.
Do you have communications to your pit?
No communication. That's something that's been in our sport talked about for past few years, to have inner helmet stuff to where you could talk with your team or something like that, but we don't have it yet. Not for what we're doing.
Sounds like next year.
It's gonna be hard to know the time just because those jumbotrons are so small.
Yeah.
Just
all right.
Every now and then you can jump up, look up, see a time. I'm like, all right, I got 5
Just
minutes.
this
I'm not gonna make it.
Just this weekend.
Just this weekend.
They're making fun of Lucas Oil Stadium, and they got a little baby jumbo.
It is tiny though. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you would know. You travel over 17 weeks indoors.
Yeah, it's part of Colt's career, actually. Yeah, I need to see those, and they're a little bit smaller. But hey, that's the added value of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Amen.
You got to experience it live more.
That's right.
You don't get tempted to look at the jumbotron because
what the
see it
hell?
anyway.
8 or 9.
They got that window too, just sitting there.
Yeah.
There is a window.
Blinding you for sure. It might blind the racers. Or you race at night though, right?
Yeah. I mean, all the lights are on. Obviously, everything is super lit up in there, just like it would
Why
be
don't
for
you
any
guys
other event.
lights out, pitch black race?
That'd be cool.
We'd like to do one of those in here, actually.
Glow in the dark.
We want a 450cc inside the Thunderdome pitch black race. 20 minutes. I don't know if any of you are going to make it.
Donuts.
I don't know if I'm in for that one. I'll watch you boys participate in that one.
Oh, well, fuck you, Colt. You're supposed to be the right guy.
Do it outside. Do it over there.
Okay, Colt. Good luck this weekend. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see these things in action, both outside and at the stadium, whether it's this trip or the next one. You guys are here all the time. We are lucky to host that. Know that the city of Indianapolis is very thankful that you guys come.
We love it.
Packed downtown.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's wonderful for the city, and obviously it's electrifying. Why don't you go win that thing, Colt?
Oh, I'd love
Come on, Colt.
Great. Let's do it. I would love to. Thank you, boys.
I want to know by Saturday night.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You do it. Yeah, let's do
it. Us. We.
Hey, you stay right there. Hold on. Don't leave yet.
Fair enough.
This is a team sport thing.
shoot.
I don't know if you guys do this. We're not going to do that.
No. Come on.
We had a great week. We hope you did as well. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Boys in the back, great work this week.
Go, boys.
Hell yeah.
Graphics department, way to go, boys.
Go, boys.
Mitt's really been picking up some jobs here.
Yeah.
Mitt's been picking up some jobs this week, which we appreciate. Talks the table, way to go this week. You too, you angler, you.
You too, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get back. Can't wait to get back on that lake.
Yeah, he caught that.
Yeah,
He caught that on his.
I love
check that out, Colt. Can you touch that, Colt?
I love
You an angler? You're an angler? You're from Oklahoma? You fish?
every now and then. You know what I mean? When in Rome. Not too often.
Hunt, fish?
A little bit of hunting, a little bit of fishing. Not
Fishing
too
in
often.
Rome,
I don't go
sounds
back to
great.
Oklahoma very often. But when I do, my buddy, that's all he does. So
You're still country fuck. This is the man you're sitting with.
This
I
guy.
don't know if you know that.
Yeah. Take that in. That's
Incredible.
called a championship right there.
Toyota.
Shout out.
He did not know that.
Got my Corolla outside.
Yes, he
That's
does.
impressive. I love it.
That's actually Mr. Van Dam, the greatest
Kevin Van
fisherman of all
Dam,
time.
Oh, yeah.
Great work this week, Talks the Table.
You too.
Right back at you.
One half of the Hammer
Dad.
Ballpark boys, or Ball Cap boys.
Just boys.
Boys, maybe. AP Tone. Hey, great work this week. You debuted a new you.
Yeah. Better talk.
Thank you.
He put a cowboy hat in the middle of COVID because he was a COVID cowboy. And this is the week he decided not to wear it every single day. So then he decided he needs to throw it back on for a Friday. I think mostly because he did not love having to be a ball cap boy there for a few days. I think he's fallen in love with the cowboy hat. And I
Looks
think
good on you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Damn.
That's an Oklahoma thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you wear a twisted t-shirt?
We got a guy that runs a cowboy hat 24/7. It's like his
I
thing.
saw it.
He's known as
Saw
the
it on
cowboy.
video.
Aaron Plessinger, he rocks the rocks the cowboy hat. He's a dog.
Great mullet.
And he great. I think I follow him on socials.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's the man.
So you don't want to bite his gimmick.
Yeah.
You're from Oklahoma. They fucking wear cowboy hats.
I know. He already had that thing though. So I was
Where's
like,
he
I
from?
can't just come in throwing the cowboy hat on. I feel like I'm copying AP.
I understand. You're trying to build your own brand.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break both of my fucking arms, Aaron, doing that. I don't think so.
Watch this.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. New friend of the program, Colt Nicholas. Thank you, buddy.
Colt.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Colt. All right. We're going to get the hell out of here and enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday. It's going to be a great show. A lot of shit is about to happen. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this thing together. Never forget it. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
There it is. Okay. Goodbye.
I was late.